hello, welcome, Contria. Hello, welcome, it is Sunday. It is time for Warhammer Sunday, yes, it's that time of the week when I sit down and crack on with my, getting all my Warhammer Conquest stuff built, because there's tons of it. If you remember last week, we were building some more of our Death Guard, and I've got a bit of barrel drilling to do for them. And then later on, when we've done that, we've got to crack on with the Fetid Bloat Drone, because we're still doing the Death Guard from that same issue. So there you go. But welcome. Now, hopefully, there'll be no technological issues today. Nothing will fall over, nothing will break. I think the curse of Saturday afternoon is strictly that, the curse of Saturday afternoon. And I think I've done some stuff to fix it, but we'll find out. We will find out. If it does fall over at 3:30 in half an hour, I may use words I don't even know yet. So let's just wait and find out. But yes, welcome. If you've not seen one of these before, it's basically a 3-hour slot where I will sit and try and get some work done. Normally I work on my army, the Unending forces of the Holy Contrivance, but for the last few months I've been working to catch up to get all my Warhammer Conquest minis built, so that later in the year when they're all built and done and the part work is finished, I can crack on with the painty and get some painting tutorials for all of them done. Next door is hammering. I don't quite know what they're doing. If I sounded distracted there's noises and hammering coming through the wall. But yeah, so I'm going to be working on my Warhammer Conquest army. Basically, I'll sit here and allegedly do some work for 3 hours. Really, what I'll do is just talk and waffle to you guys and build like one dude, which is fine, because this show, as always with my live streams, this is more about just a chance for you to hang out and have a good time in the chat. It's not really for you to sit and watch me cutting and scraping and sanding and gluing. That's not really what this is about at all. It's just a chance for you to hang out with your mates in the live chat while I'm in the background waffling on quietly to myself. That hammering from next door is quite distracting now. Maybe they're trying to signal me. Not quite sure what she's doing. Anyway, shut up, Fox. So yes, I will waffle on. Basically, I will waffle on for 3 hours and try and do some work. If you want to, I've got the chat in front of me here. Really quite distracting. Wow, stop hammering. Ooh. If you want to join in, if you can see the live chat here on the telly screen here, but that's not the actual live chat, that's just the live chat, so you guys, who anybody who's watching it without chat, can see it later on. But if you want to join in the live chat, please do. This is all about you guys hanging out and having a good time. So if you're watching this somewhere where you can't see the live chat, you need to be on YouTube, so click the YouTube icon that's just down here somewhere. She literally just started hammering the moment I started the live stream. Literally. She stopped now. I think she stopped. Has she stopped? No. She may have stopped. I don't really mind. It's not that loud. It's that gentle hammering. No, that's loud hammering. Thanks, neighbour. Just the moment I started the stream. Anyway, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but let's just crack on. So anyway, yes, what was I talking about? No idea. Yeah, if you can't see the live chat, hit the YouTube icon that's down in the bottom right of the screen somewhere. That'll take you to the YouTube page where you can join in with the live chat. And if you want to get my attention in chat, I've got it right here in front of me. Put your question or your comment in big fat capital letters so I have a chance to see it. If you want to, you can do a super chat, which is the little dollar symbol down here at the bottom of the chat window. You'll also be helping me out massively because I make a little bit of income from super chat, so it's a way for you to help out the channel whilst getting your comment noted. But last of all, if you can't get hold of me that way, if you can't get chat at all, you can always send me an email. The email address is always here. It's fox@modelmakingguru.com. I'm probably less likely to get an email during the show, but you're welcome to anyway. Also, I hardly ever go into my email, so if you send me an email, I might be like 6 weeks before I answer it. I'm a bit rubbish. What else? As always, of course, we have the stream boss battle is ongoing. You can see George is still the stream boss. I have to say, it's a bit rubbish that George doesn't actually have a profile picture. He's not even set one up. I mean, how bad is that? He's the stream boss and he's not even got a picture set up. George, you're slacking, mate. We need to get a new stream boss who can actually be bothered to put us an image there for themselves. But George is the stream boss. What is Stream Boss Battle? It's a fun little game where you guys can earn some money. You can build yourself a big pot of money just for yourself. I don't make any money off this. Basically, you all try and get George's health down to 0. Whoever gets him to 0 becomes the new Stream Boss and wins a massive pot of money. You get this health down by doing tips through the tip jar, which is there, streamlabs.com/modelmakingguru. Every time you put a tip in, it takes some of his health off. The more you put in as a tip, the more of his health comes off. And if you get to 0, you win all the money in that tip jar. And basically you can spend it at Games Workshop, Forge World, or Goblin Gaming if you're in the EU. Now, when George won, he won about 488 quid. to spend, so it's worth doing it. I'm going to take my shirt off because it was really cold when I started and it's gone really warm now. All the fans on the computer are on and the lights are on. I'll just take my shirt off. It's too damn warm now. Oh. So yes, it's a little community pot basically that you guys can build up. I don't make any money off the stream, boss. I don't see any of that, so feel free to dive in and get his health down. But yes, see if you can get someone who can actually bother to put a profile picture up, because that's just the default Streamlabs nonsense, that is. George, I hadn't noticed. Right, so before we get going, I will have a quick look at the chat and see who's in. Now, the first comment I've got may not be the very first one. I know Patrick was the very first one because I saw it earlier today, but Lynn is in, or she popped in and said, "Hi, Pascal Moore, I'm third, lol, have fun, go off to work. Hi, Fox, when you show up." Yeah, Lynn always works at the weekends. Nim, of course, is in. Nim Cinder in. Morning dude, just popping in before season finale of my Dungeons and Dragons campaign, which should be starting soon if we can rouse our DM. Depends what the DM's been drinking the night before. Also, let me know about the volume and video, by the way. Let me know how the volume's okay. It should be alright. I always tweak the volume settings and stuff before I go live. Do let me know how it sounds. What else have we got? Where are we? Dad, of course, is one of your mods. Dad is lovely. Dad, Chris, Paul, and... I'll get to the other mods when I get that far down the chat. Are three of your mods, they're in. The mods are lovely, lovely people. They will keep you safe. They'll protect you against all evildoers. They are your sword and your shield. I am your sword and your shield, my thing. In the chat, they'll look after you. But if you cross them, they will put you in a catapult and fire you into the sun after slitting your throat and chopping you into little pieces first. So don't cross them because they'll be evil. But if you're good to them, they'll look after you. More Draka09 is in. Eric Graham, hello to all. Happy Warhammer Sunday, says Eric. Welcome, Eric. David Sanderson is in. Welcome, David. Quano Man is in. And Lewis Williamson, hello to both of you. David makes Dad a cup of coffee with floaters. I don't want to know any more details about that. Ghost Lyle is in and says, of course, pineapple, 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 pineapple. We have, of course, now I haven't got a button for this, so I'll do this. I won't do that because my button didn't work. Hang on. Oh, hang on. Oh, let me just... Oh, I've got to recharge my buttons now. You know, Stream Deck, you're a pain in the bum sometimes. You really are. Right. Retry that again. I don't have a skullfish button, but what I do have still didn't work. Right, I'm giving up on buttons. Oh, I was going to do my TED button. My buttons are working, but my TED button doesn't work. Oh, my TED button's busted. Oh, that's just not... Oh, I don't have a skullfish button, so I'll just say skullfish. There you go. I was going to give you a spare TED button, bonus TED button, but my TED button seems to not want to work. I'll have to have a look at that in a bit. Let me just try one more thing. Hang on. Because I can't not have a working TED button. TED is required at all times. Right, let's try this again. Are we ready? See if we can just recombobulate the TED, and no, does not want to work. Right, give me 1 second. I've got the wrong glasses on. Right. Entitled, no, that's the wrong thing. Oh, I see. Here we go. There we go. There we go. Right. Should now work. Let's try it. Oh, I give up. I officially give up. I'll have to fiddle with that later. No, TED refusing to work. Never mind. No TED button today. Never mind. I'll close that now. All the technical difficulties in the world. Right. Who else do we have? We have Beyond Hope is in. Welcome, Beyond Hope. We have Chris at Gross Models popped in and said welcome. Why not? We have Lee Eagles. Hi, I'm new to the channel. Came straight from Festa 67's breakfast brunch, bud build buddies, brunch buddies, brunch build thing. Him and Dave. Awesome. Thank you for coming along, Lee. Welcome, welcome. I've seen you in the e-models chat a few times, but thank you for coming along to my nonsense. We'll get started in a minute. Don't worry. We have Mr. Tibbers says hi ho. Welcome, Mr. Tibbers. You are more than welcome to join us. Wayne Haywood, afternoon everyone, welcome Wayne. Who else do we have? Paul at Team Inept has popped in. Paul says, stop the music, get on with the waffle or I'll ban the lot of you. Yes, Paul bans everybody. Apparently Chris is a bit hangry today, somebody was commenting he's a bit grumpy, and he says he's hangry. So Eric asks if Gemma forgot to feed him. Hi, Eric. Who else do we have? Let's have a look. Charlatan Triple X. Greetings all from Berlin to you all. Hello, hello, and welcome, Charlatan Triple X. You're more than welcome to join us. We have, see if I make sure I don't miss anybody. Frankie goes to Hobbywood. Hi, Frankie. Beyond Hope says, Fox, only 2 more issues from Conquest after this week. Not for me, because I am only up to... I'm up to 71, 74. I've got the tally, man, 74. So I've still got 6 issues to go, I think. Because it goes up to 80 issues. And the Primaris Repulsor tank is split over 4 issues, I think. Although one of them is just the clear plastic base, which is a bit of a swizz. Can't hear hammering. Maybe they're humping, says David Sanderson. She lives alone. Mordraka09 says, Fox, a tip for building the drone. The plague spitters will need to be either pinned or a large amount of thick glue. I shall noted, my friend. Thank you very much for that. Or magnets. How do they work? Sending an SOS through the wall. Says she stopped now. She stopped now. But actually, I have to be really grateful. A couple of years ago, you might remember we had neighbours that were doing DIY all the time, and it was like a living hell. It was like, oh God, the drilling and the scraping and the hitting and the banging and the running and the screaming and the hey. It was a nightmare. But then the lady that lives next door now, she moved in a couple of years ago, and she's a dream neighbour because she's just totally quiet. Like once a year, she might have some friend around for a bit of a drunken girly night in. That's it. Other than that, she's just totally quiet. You never even hear a TV. She's apparently got piano in there. I've never heard it. She's obviously got headphones in it. But yeah, you never hear her. So it's a perfect neighbour. You never hear her. So I don't mind when she makes a bit of banging every now and then with the hammer and stuff, because she's very, very rare she ever makes any noise. Let's have a look. Dad, of course, asks the most important question: what's on your bench and what's in your belly? What are you having for your dinner later on, or what have you had for your dinner? What's in your belly? And what's on your bench? What are you working on right now? Frankie Goes to Hobbywood says the description for Spekuchen is posted in the Boom Hut. On my bench, he answers the question, that's why. He says, on my bench, painting seats of a Ferrari 328 GTS, and in my belly is a big piece of Spekuchen. Spekuchen. That's some kind of cake, I think, isn't it? Pie? Cake? Mr. Tibbers says, so we'll do some gluing and sanding and stuff while you're doing some gluing and sanding and stuff. Wow, damn, endless loop. Yes. Charlatan Triple X, the Conquest release in Germany this January, and the friendly freaky guy got me hooked after 20 years of abstinence from 40k. This friendly, that's me, I did that. Yes, it is a really good deal. The Warhammer Conquest, it's a fabulous deal. The Age of Sigmar one is actually possibly a slightly better deal, because you get more as a premium subscriber. You get more as a premium subscriber in 40k on the Conquest. You get some boards to play on and some dice. It's not brilliant. It's all right. It's just not brilliant. On the Age of Sigmar one, the Mortal Realms, every sort of extra that you get as a premium subscriber is more plastic, more minis from factions that aren't in the set. I'm not massively sold on the Sigmar one though, because the Nighthaunt don't really do it for me. With this 40k, when you're getting all Space Marines, you're getting loads of vehicles, you're getting all this and that, and Death Guard and Poxwalkers and all kinds of stuff. With the Realms one, you're getting a load of Stormcast, and then you're getting a load of Ghosty dudes who kind of all look the same. It doesn't seem that varied, but the premium package is a bit better. Careful, reflections, says Chris at Gross Models. Oh yes, we have reflections, look. There is a t-shirt, that's a t-shirt. I'm not topless, you. I am wearing my Juness t-shirt. Persona 4 fans will recognise that reference. Nim Cinderin says, bench, D&D, dice, and possibly death in the finale of my D&D campaign. Belly, cotton candy peeps. Oh yeah. I'm bloody well not lovely, says Team Inept. That's because I said all your mods are lovely. Apart from Paul, who will ban you for anything. If you speak to Paul, he'll ban you. If you don't speak to him, he'll ban you. Let's have a look. Chris, for some reason, says Hugly. Strange, my Stream Deck is fine. I think it may be either Fox or the PC. Probably most likely. I may have a couple of... Ooh, Chris says he may have a couple of new buttons tonight on his stream. Ooh. I think all of his stream problems on Saturdays and with his stream deck are due to failing USB ports causing the issue. No, I'm not using USB when I'm doing the stream on a Saturday. I think that's a scheduling issue, and I've changed some things around on that to stop it falling over. So on Saturday we'll find out. Yeah. Chat fell over. It does that from time to time. That's Streamlabs. Mordraka says 2 deliveries left for you, Fox. Yep. On the Conquest. Quantumman says jammy dodgers are in the belly, and even more jammy dodgers are on the bench for the stuffings to all the mouths on my face. Jolly good. Not that big fan of jammy dodgers because they're not chocolate hobnobs. I mean, let's just be honest. It's as simple as that. I would say welcome, but I'll get in trouble again, says Chris at Gross Models. You know, you can say welcome to other people when they come in. Just when you come in, saying welcome's a bit weird. Lewis Williamson says, belly will be roast pork with all the trimmings lovingly made by the wife trying to get the 1/200th scale Titanic. Tactics. Bench 1/32nd scale Mosquito by Ravel having a break from the Hellcat. Cynical Steve is in. Welcome, Cynical Steve. And Gaz Tops is in saying, I did like your Skyrim. Yes, thank you very much. I'm looking to maybe do a Skyrim stream properly. I do my Elite on Saturday when it works. And I'm kind of wanting to do a Skyrim. I don't know when I'll do it. I've had some ideas. So I am planning on maybe at some point doing a Skyrim stream, but thank you. Swig of coffee. As always, the enormous coffee is there. Right, let's do some of the work, shall we? I'll give Ted another go. Oh, why is Ted not working? Oh, I'll figure it out later. I know my buttons are working because there's one that's working right now. Anyway, let's crack on. Legals, 1/12 scale Nissan Skyline, 32 GTR and tea and biltong. Ooh. Eric Graham, belly, peanut butter sandwich and a huge coffee on the bench, weathering the crap out of some HO scale stuff. Jolly good. TD says, greetings from Germany. Welcome. That's 2 of you from Germany now. Where's Sergeant Bones when you need him? As everybody's doing the bench and belly now, Osric says, belly, tuna and pasta tonight, bench putting all the tiny, fiddly, annoying bits on some 1/700 scale ships. Now, I might sound a bit distracted today because all I can think about is what I'm having for tea tonight, which is a chicken and bacon pie. But it's not a pie like with pastry. It's like when you get the big sort of shepherd's pie that's like that big. It's like 1.5 foot long. And you put it in the oven for like an hour. It's one of them, but it's chicken and bacon pie. And that's all I can think about right now. So, yeah. Yeah, that's all I can think about. Right, before we crack on with the fetid bloat drone, we have... Last weekend we built some dudes. I built some dudes and I finished the other 2 dudes off camera. I need to drill out the barrels of these guys' weapons. First of all, they're bolted before we do anything. No pastry, it isn't a pie. It's like a shepherd's pie. It's got the potatoey stuff on top, which is a shepherd's pie. But it's got chicken and bacon. Yes. So yes, if you're watching this, and like I say, if you want to, please do join in the chat. It's a good fun in chat. Good times are to be had. Oh, my light's on. It seems a little dark in here. Good times are to be had. Like I say, if you're watching this and you can see the blue box of chat, that's what chat is, but that's not the YouTube chat. Click on the YouTube icon at the bottom right of the video player. If you're watching this on a mobile device and you can't see where the chat actually is, you might just need to scroll down below the video. Sometimes it's underneath, especially if you're on a tablet or something like that. Chris says, Dremel? Yes, we've never let it lie that Chris once drilled a barrel on an orc with an entire electric Dremel. You know, rather than just using a pin vise, he used an entire Dremel. And that's the wrong size drill bit anyway. He used an entire Dremel at 5 billion RPMs and somehow got away with it. He drilled out the barrel of this weapon and it didn't melt the entire model to goo. Did very well. I saw that rolling off. Guthorm stopped it. Hey Guthorm. Guthorm says hi, by the way. Right. A drill in this barrel. I repeat, get a proper drill, you fanny, says Cy Reynolds. Nothing wrong with that. I like that. It's better than it's better than my other pin vise, which is absolute garbage. I've got to be honest, it's probably the best pin vise and probably the most expensive pin vise. Although, despite the fact it's the most expensive pin vise I've ever had. Also, hi, by the way, Cy. Cy's another one of your mods. Doesn't often get a chance to join the stream. But when he does, he's quite happy to take the merciless mickey out of me. I still need the other one because it's still too... I'm not even paying... I'm distracted by the thought of chicken and bacon pie. Chicken and bacon pie. Right, I want that one. I want that one. I want the little one for the other barrel. Okay, we'll come back to that in a second. All right, so chicken and bacon pie. Anyway, while I'm thinking about chicken and bacon pie, I will catch up with the stream. Oh, welcome, Jamie. He says, I will catch up with the stream when it becomes a video as I am watching the rugby at the same time, says Jamie. Eric Graham says, you seriously trust Fox with power tools? Yeah, you don't want me anywhere near power tools. It's the worst possible thing you could ever plan to do. Right, so let's see if we can attempt to get this in the middle. I won't. So, drilling out barrels 101. Just basically line it up in the middle and go for it. Let's see what happens. If you are drilling out a barrel and you want a very thin barrel, like you don't want it to look like it's 3.5 feet thick, obviously you can use a larger drill bit, but don't be tempted to go straight for the massively big drill bit right from the start. If you've got a big fat if the weapon's got a big fat barrel on the end, it's often wiser to start small and work your way bigger, just to avoid any problems. So for example, I'll zoom in a little bit for you. Now it's going to look like garbage because it will be zoomed in. You can see here I've drilled a little tiny hole on that barrel. Now luckily the little side vents on here are already drilled out because they're too small for my smallest drill bit. I've drilled out a little hole there, but I could go a bit bigger. So Beyond Hope says, why do your mods disrespect you so much? Is it for them to feel they're part of your audience? My mods love me. We're all good mates. When I choose people to be mods, it's people that have the same sort of outlook on life and sense of humour as me. And I've always been one of those people that, if you see me hanging out with my friends, we're all mercilessly taking the mickey out of each other because that's what mates do. I'm going in with a bigger drill bit now. A very risky premise, but I think it came out all right. You can see that it's drilled out quite nicely. Now the trick is, the reason I went ahead and did that was because somehow by fluke I managed to get the original hole in the barrel right in the middle. So I knew if I went in with a bigger drill bit, it would still be in the middle. If I'd been a bit off centre with... Hello, somebody's texting me. Zoom out. I can't zoom out, Dad. I'm showing stuff. Thank you, but I don't need to zoom out yet. Thanks, Dad. If I'd gone in with the small bit and it had been off centre, then I would have had to get creative with the knife blade to sort of widen it out. Because if it's off centre and I go with... Hang on. It's okay. In focus now. I think your text message has got a bit delayed there, Dad. Yes, so if I'd been a bit off centre and I'd gone in with the big fat drill bit, I would have just gone and put a big hole in the side of the barrel. So it's always wise to start off small, and then if you've got the option of widening it with a bigger drill bit, you can do. If not, though, I would have just kind of carved it with the knife just to widen it a little bit. And that's another way. If you get off centre with the drill bit, you drill out a barrel and you're not quite in the middle, get your knife blade and just carve it to even out the edges so it looks like it's in the middle. You'll always get away with it. Right, that's that drilled out. Let's zoom out. There we go. Right, so that is his barrel sorted out. We've got to do this one. Now this one I can go in straight with the big one. Cy Reynolds says, that text sound, my God. Yes, text me again. I'll put it near the microphone. You'll hear it properly. Somebody text me again and I'll do it again. Doo-doo-doo. And it's not a 3310 sound. It's a very specific geek sound effect. It is a sound effect. Now this weapon has a bigger barrel, so I can go straight in with the bigger drill bit. Now I can't tell you what size these are. There we go. First person to guess where that's... There we go. I was going to say first person to guess it is the coolest kid in school, but Beyond Hope gets it. It's Space 1999. There you go. I've got loads of them. I've got loads of Space 1990 sounds on there. Let me play you some sounds. Hang on. we have voicemail is that one. We have, which you've heard, and we have that one. I don't know what I use that for. We have lots of them. There you go. Of course, I also have, if I feel like that, or if I want to get all Law and Order, or if I want a little bit of Persona 4, there you go. There you go. If I fancy a bit of Law and Order, but the problem, Persona 4. The problem with Persona 4 is that they're really quiet in a crowded public place. Right. So we drilled out this barrel. Now this one is not in any way, shape or form in the centre. It went a bit off. I'll zoom in again and I'll show you. You can see there, it had a sort of recess already in the barrel. My colour balance is a bit off, but never mind. It had a little recess in the barrel already, and the bit kind of fell into it, but it's gone off to one side. But that's fine. That's easily fixed. Because what I need to do is, first of all, go back for my small drill bit, because the little side vents are small enough that I can drill them out with the bit. I can do the side part here. Is it on camera? Yes. So I can drill out the side here first of all. Drilling out little things on gun barrels. It's silly good fun. It's taking a long time to go through. I may not be lined up correctly. Do on this side as well. Make sure they join up in the middle. There we go. So I've drilled through the barrel there. You can't see. Drilled through the barrel. Are we actually? Where's my centre spot? Right. Let me. Oh, hang on. Let me make an adjustment. There we go. If I put that there, you can probably better see when I'm working on stuff. Right. So, 1 second. Yeah, so you can see that I've drilled the hot side hole out, but this one is still a bit off centre. So what I'm going to do now is go in with my Sharpie knife blade. Stabity time! Now this doesn't always work, but it's not the end of the world. These are Death Guard, remember, so the weapons are supposed to look like garbage anyway. And all we'll do, although there's a bayonet on this which makes it more tricky, all I'm going to do is I'm going to carve out the barrel. Carve out the barrel! A little bit. It's fudging. You're kind of fudging your way around a problem, but all I'm doing is I'm carving the area where it's off centre, just to make it a bit more, well, to give the impression that this barrel is centred, that the hole that I drilled was centred. Oops, nearly. That wasn't stabity, just so you know. Right, so there we go. So that's that scraped out. Now it looks like absolute garbage because it's full of little fluffy bits and you can see stress marks on the plastic, and also it's hard to get into that because of the blade there. But all you do is, once you've drilled out your barrel, drill out the barrel. You simply take your, to me, extra, hang on, stabbing, no, a little tiny bit of stabity, but nothing major. I didn't even feel it. Take your little bit of extra thin. Where is it? There it is. I'll zoom out a little bit. Wait, no, you don't need to see it. You're right. Little tiny bit. Get most of the extra thin off from the brush. There's almost nothing on it, and just run it round the barrel like that. Run it on the inside and run it through the gap here. And what you're doing is, if you remember, Tamira extra thin actually melts the plastic. That's how it works. It welds and melts plastic together. So all it does is, if you get little scrapey, scrabbity bits that are left when you've carved it out with your knife, just get some extra thin, almost nothing on the brush, and just wipe it round. It'll melt those little fluffy filaments and fibres, and it'll leave you with a nice smooth barrel. Now, it's not 100% perfectly lined up in the middle there, but it's fine. Once you see it on the tabletop, you'll just see a drilled barrel. I'm not too fussed. I'll do the same on this one. I don't need to here, but I'll take some extra thin. Again, I'm getting most of it off on the lip of the jar, and I'm just going to run it round like that. Now, I don't need to do the side ones because they weren't drilled out. I didn't have to drill those out. So just run it round there, run it over the top of the barrel. There, done. There. And that's that. Those are the barrels drilled out, so I can put them away. Put them to one side. 1 second. Yeah. Go back in my cabinet. At the moment, I'm keeping the latest dudes that I built in my cabinet because I run out of places to put all my figures. I've ordered myself a little battle case so I can store. I've got 2 skirmish cases full of Conquest dudes at the moment. So I've ordered a little battle case. Right, there we go. That's done. Yes, there was a little tiny bit of stabity, but I didn't feel it. It was so not painful. So there you go. There's some stabity for you. It's been a while. Oops. So we'll put that back in the dad device. Right, let's have a look. Switch that phone off, says David Sanderson. I need it on so that Dad can text me when the stream falls over. Where are we? Have a quick look at chat. Yes, they were Space 1999 sounds. Speedy Curator's in. Welcome, Speedy Curate. Hey, Speedy Curate, possibly Team Inept. I missed my 3310. I could throw that thing at the wall and it'd be fine. When I first... Oh, yes. Zoom out. Somebody said don't forget focus in chat. There you go. When my first mobile phone was one of those Nokia, was it a 5210, like that shape with the little stubby aerial, and that was just indestructible, bloody-structible. He's also got a MacGyver sound. He's also got a MacGyver sound, says Beyond Hope. That's a ringtone, but I can't play it for you because that'd be a bad idea. Let's have a look. Michael Storman is in. Michael Storman says, in the belly, Chilean on the bench, 135th Tiger, 2 tank by Hobby Boss at Making the Tracks. Oh, individual track links. Didn't get a live notification, by the way, only if these streams were at regular daytime, so I wouldn't forget. Yeah, YouTube, as long as you've clicked the bell and said all, it should send you a notification. It doesn't. YouTube's a bit broken like that. David Sanderson says, every Sunday at 3 p.m. It's kind of true. Rolux Illusion is in. Welcome, Rolux. He says, I just read that Darren Latham is stopping his channel and will be pulling all the videos off soon. Real shame. I guess GW didn't like it. That's a bit out of order. To be perfectly honest, that's exceptionally out of order. Because I know Darren Latham works for GW and all that and all everything and all that. But at the end of the day, it's his personal channel. He can put what the hell he wants on it. And if they've actually asked him to pull it, I'd be like, how about no? How about screw you guys? That's well out of order. Lee Eagle says, where can I buy one of these pin vices from? This one is the Citadel pin vice from any leading Warhammer store or Games Workshop store, or if you go to the link in the description below the video, Goblin Gaming, where you can buy it for 20% off from my affiliate link. Cheaper pin vices are more than available. However, I really like that one. You get a pin vice there, make sure it's got a spinny bit on the end, because that sits in your palm. I've got one that's got one of these bits, parts at both ends, and it's rubbish because as you're doing it, that bit comes off and then just digs into your hand. So make sure you get one with a pommel on the end. But the beauty of the Citadel one is you get 3 bit sizes. You get bolt pistol barrel size. You get bolter barrel size, and this is kind of like heavy weapons, heavy bolter barrel size, more or less. They're kind of just about the right sizes for like bolt weapons. So if you're drilling out a bolter or, you know, a heavy bolter or something, they're kind of about the right size, which makes life easy. Don't forget, of course, I forgot to say at the start, this channel is supported by 3 groups. First of all, my lovely, lovely patrons who support me on Patreon, patreon.com/model making guru. Link is just there. Those guys and girls do support me directly with their hard-earned cash. So massive, massive thank you to them. If you want to help support me, you can become a Patreon supporter. Of course, it's also supported by Goblin Gaming, your one-stop shop for all your tabletop gaming needs. The guys and girls at Goblin are awesome. They also offer 20% off all Games Workshop, Malifaux and Conflict 47 items. And massive savings on everything else. If you're looking to get some stuff, use the link that's in the description below this video, not just their normal website address. If you use the link that's in the description, that's my affiliate link. And if you use that, it tells them I sent you, and I make a little bit of income from that. So not only are you saving money massively, you're also helping support this channel. And lastly, my channel sponsors, emodels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for your traditional model making needs, and they also now sell Games Workshop. Yay! 30. Right, we're making the fetid bloat drone. You may have noticed I kind of just started. Fetid bloat drone! I get that on a Friday after a big curry the night before and too many fizzy beers. Yeah, a bit fetid and a bit bloated. Oh yeah. Alright, we'll get these parts off. We will commence with the manufacture of the fetid bloat drone. Now this is covered in spikies, which are going to do one of two things. They're either going to stab the living crap out of my hands, which they are going to do, or they're just going to snap off. One of the two. Pretty much one of those two options. She's hammering again. We're not zoomed in, are we? Nope. Not the camera, just the model, says Beyond Hope. I can't zoom a model out. Oh God, big hands. David Sanderson says, Fox's ringtone is Barbie Girl by Aqua. No, it's not. He was 9,000 shy of 40,000 subscribers, says Rolux. Yeah, I think that's well out of order. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the story behind it. You know, we really don't know. There may be a very good reason why, and he may have been like, no, that's fair enough, I'll do that. It might be like they've said to him, maybe, do you want to make videos for us, but you'll have to stop your own stuff. Whatever, I don't know. I suppose we don't know the story, but it's easy to jump to conclusions and say they are well out of order, which I've just done a minute ago. But then again, of course, he may have agreed with it. Don't know. It's a shame, though. I keep meaning to watch his stuff and never actually got round to it. However, there is another option, of course. Maybe he's going to go and work with Duncan. Maybe they're going to be doing a show together and therefore he doesn't need... Although he still wouldn't get rid of his own content, I suppose. I don't know, it's very odd. It seems a shame anyway. I suppose the only problem would be, from GW's point of view, if he's making money by recommending competitors' products, because he might... I don't know if he was using non-GW stuff and making non-GW kits, maybe. But saying, hey, it's my own... Yeah, I don't know. Seems a shame anyway. Yeah, she's hammering again next door. It sounds like she's building some IKEA furniture, to be honest. It's gentle tappy hammering, not knocking her shelf in hammering. Alright, so we'll get these little nubs trimmed down. Nubulations! Let's have a look. The Army Painter pin drill is a little easier to use than Games Workshop drill. The end of the drill on the GW is not very comfortable when drilling a lot of parts. I find it fine, actually, to be honest. I don't have any problems with it. I find it much more comfortable than my own pin vise, which is garbage. Well, it wasn't garbage until I got a better one. I've got one of them. But every time you use it, it guarantees this bit will unscrew within seconds. And then it's like, oh, hello, scrape, scrape, scrape. So, yeah, not really awesome. I'll put that back in there. I mean, it did me for a long time. And I'm sure there are better ones. There are definitely cheaper ones out there. But I was in the Games Workshop store at the time. I was in my local Warhammer store. And it was like, oh, you know what? I'll just get that while I'm here. Why not? Alright, so get these nubs. As always, there's always one that's in a really awkward place. Thanks, G-dubs. Yeah, I think she's assembling some flat pack furniture next door. It's like little gentle hammering sounds. Knocking sounds. I've not heard any swearing yet, so it's obviously going well. Right, so we will... 37 minutes in, must be a record, says Beyond Hope. I think that's for the stabity. It doesn't really count though, because it didn't hurt and it's not bleeding profusely, so it's kind of not really impressive stabity. I mean, it's stabity, it's just not in the pantheon of maximum stabity moments, is it really? Trim this down. I'll get that with the file in a moment. That's all the major nubulations. Zoomed out too far, we can see face. How low can you go? Face. I'm gonna give you my face. Do. I think someone tried stealing. Hang on. Where are we going? Is there going to be stickers today, Fox says I created? No, I've stopped doing stickers for the time being. I've still got a backlog of hundreds of stickers to send out. But A, I didn't have many left, and B, it's just getting too expensive. I haven't done it for quite a while, to be honest, because it actually ends up being very expensive to... It's a nice thing to do, but for the same reason I've got... that spike's going to come off any minute. It's just going to... It's already weakened. It's the same reason I've got boxes full of kits to give away in the spare room. I loved giving stuff away, like kits and stickers, but it was costing me a fortune to do it, to send them all out. So for the moment, we're on hiatus. Until such time as I can afford to be sending out tons of stickers regularly. I do still have a load of all the people that have not yet received a sticker that have won over the last... Well, since September, literally since last September. I do still have all their details and the emails and stuff, so they will get sent out eventually. The army, where are we? The videos are really good, but they go on for ages, says David Sanderson. Is that me, or is that the guy from G-Dubs? Where's the other guy from eModels that had an eye accident gone? An eye accident? Huh? There's me, Ted, Colin and Chris that do the eModels show. None of us have had an eye accident. Huh? No, this is nothing to do with eModels. I mean, I am sponsored by eModels, but this show is just my show. Nothing to do with eModels on this one. I think someone tried stealing something from him. No idea who you're talking about there, Lee. None of us have had an eye accident. None of the eModels gang have had an eye accident. Ted had a stroke, bless him, but he's back up and running now. It was Ted and Fox to start. Chris joined later, and then recently Fester has joined, says Beyond Hope. I can see a furry creature in the top left corner. What the hell was that? I'm going to have nightmares later. Stamps are like 70s. Oh, Ghost Lyle says, new doggo time. Have you got yourself a new pupper? I need to know all about this new pupper. Also, you need to post pictures in the Boom Hut. If you've got a new dog. If you've got puppies. We need pictures in the Boom Hut are required at all times. Somehow we seem to have got a lot of cats as well. I'm more of a dog guy than a cat guy, but we seem to have developed a habit of having lots of cat pictures in the Boom Hut, which I think is actually fine. Because everybody's got kittens. Awesome kittens. Right, that's going to need some fettling. Hey all, sorry I'm late. I was having... I was having with a friend... You've missed some words out there and it's gone horribly wrong. I was having something with a friend who came down from Edinburgh for a surprise visit. No worries, bassist. No worries, Andy. You're more than welcome, whether you're late or not. Right, let's see if we can... This is a nub that's in all the wrong place. Yeah, no, there's none of us had an eye accident. I don't quite know who you mean there, Lee. Okay, that's sanded down nicely. Dogs and models are good companions. Cats and models are mortal enemies. Yes, well, yeah. The only mortal enemies when you walk away from the bench and they go up on the bench and start batting things off the bench. That's when it becomes like fighting talk. Right, now, what are the odds that all these three spikes are going to remain on here? I think the odds are pretty bad. Odds are good that they won't remain and that they'll no longer be on here by the time I've finished. I've already bent one. The only thing about Death Guard is that all the spikes are A, uncomfortable to hold, and B, they all snap off. Now, in other news, important developmentings, sort of. As you know, this is the Warhammer Conquest part work, and you build up 2 armies, a Space Marine Imperial army, and you build up a Death Guard army. Now, I'm doing this with the massive support of George, your current stream boss, George Gabriel. And when I've finished, we're going to split it. So he's going to get the Space Marine army, and I'm going to keep the Death Guard army. Now, at first, I was like, oh, I kind of want the Space Marines. However, there's 2 reasons now that I'm more than happy that I'm keeping the Death Guard. One is that I've kind of grown to like the Death Guard. I kind of like Nurgle. I like Nurglings. I like the idea of them. They're all disgusting and gross, and it's kind of awesome. So I've grown to like them. But the other reason is I remembered, after being reminded the other day, specifically of one of them, but I remembered that I have actually been gifted a big chunk of Death Guard stuff before this even started, before we had Conquest. Cy Reynolds, very kindly, sent me all the Death Guard from the Dark Imperium set a while back. And so basically, what it means is I won't just have the Death Guard from this Conquest part work. I'll have the same, a lot of them duplicated from the Dark Imperium set that Simon sent me. So I suddenly realised, by the time I've done these, if I paint up the ones that Simon sent me at the same time, I'm going to have a great big Death Guard army. It's going to be fantastic. So I've grown to like them now. Now I know I've actually got a load of plastic that will make a nice, decent army size. Not massive, but nice, decent size. I'm quite happy about it. So I'll get them all painted up. When I do these guys and paint these up, I'll paint up all the ones that Si sent me. And we shall be off. Oh, there you go. There's one. It's just bent and it's not snapped off, so I'll have to glue that. Do you know, every damn time. Do. Now, he didn't send me everything from the Death Guard side. He sent me the Plague Marines and some of the bits and bobs. He didn't send me any Poxwalkers, because I saw somebody say, how many Poxwalkers has he got now? I've got Poxwalker wires. I've got all the Poxwalkers from this part work, and I think an extra 10 on top of that, I think, because I got 2 copies of the one with Poxwalkers in, and somebody sent me a load of the Poxwalkers as well. I'm sure Lindsay or somebody sent me some extra Poxwalkers, so I've got some more somewhere as well. But when it comes to painting, I'll probably use contrast paints for speed, so, or lots of shades perhaps for the speeds. So I'm not actually too fussed about the possible. At first I was like, God, I'm not looking forward to painting all these. But you know what? Now I am. Now I'm invested in the Death Guard. I'm kind of quite eager to get them painted up. But it'll be a little while yet, because we've got to get everything built first. And I'll be doing George's Imperial stuff first as well. Only fair. Right, so that's there. Get rid of that little bit. You may have noticed, if you've not watched me do this before, I am not the fastest builder in the world. I do actually regularly say that I am really, really anal when it comes to like getting rid of all the nub marks and seam lines and stuff. More than most, I think. I mean, not like, you know, I won't sit there and fill all the sort of panel gaps with filler and things like that. Is my head always in shot, though? I can't see where my head is. I'm trying not to be in shot, but yeah, things like mould lines and stuff I will try and get rid of as best I can, as much as possible. Guthor, you've been drinking again. He's been on the sauce again, hasn't he? Like, for example, here you've got a big mould line right down the middle of that flexible tube. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. Not much. Zoom, there it is. Oh, this needs better zoom controls. It's really fiddly. We've got a little bit of a mould line right down the middle of that plastic tubing. I can't really sand it away because it goes into the recesses, so what I'll do, go in with my scribing tool, me show you my scribing tool. I won't do it now because it can take forever. But what I could do is I could go in and scribe all the recesses to get rid of that seam line. I said I won't do it now, and then I just started doing it basically. It's like a ribbed hose. But I think these are rank and file grunt troops. Oh no, it's not grunt troops at all, you idiot. It's the fetid bloat drone. So I need to spend a few minutes. I might not get rid of it fully, but and this is probably underneath and I won't even see it. How does it look at the end? It's that way, isn't it? It's the, being honest, it's the tube it sits on, like that. So I don't need to worry too much about it. But yeah, so I do get quite finicky over things like mold lines and getting rid of nubs and stuff. I am a slow builder because of that, but I've said it many times before, I'm not a builder. I don't really enjoy the building part of the process. I enjoy the painting and the weathering. So, you know, we all know people that will sit there and they'll build something in you know, an hour, and they'll just rattle off a load of dudes, or they'll go ahead and start the day, and by the time they finish, they built a massive load of stuff. I can't do that. I can spend 2 hours just building 2 Space Marines because I go slowly and I like to clean everything up. It's a flaw, I know. Right, I think that's going to be all right. Close enough. It's going to be a dark colour anyway. So let's zoom back out. Zoom in, zoom in. Oh. Let's have a look. Ghost Lyle says Yoss is very the small. I guess that's your new pupper. How are the spiders in the house, says Eric Graham to Chris. Oh, I've said it now. Sorry. Drink of coffee. Cats seem to know when something has a sentimental value, says Beyond Hope. Put it on a shelf and you know it's going to find its way to the floor the moment your back is turned. Oh, yes. He has many, many death guards, says Cy Reynolds. Vincent sent you some too. Remember, you've got loads, says Cy Reynolds. Vincent sent me stuff from the Dark Vengeance sets. They're not actually Death Guard. They're just Chaos Marines, which I assume I can play at the same time. So yes, I have many Chaos dudes now. Many Death Guard and a chunk of Chaos Marines. Right, so these two need to go together. We want to be together. So I will get these two glued. So I'm using the Tamir Extra Thin. And I'm going in with them already pushed together and just running the extra thin into the gap. Now remember, this is an organic thing and it's Death Guard, so I'm not being too prissy with the glue. Now I'm not going to deliberately try and get glue everywhere. It is a very, very thin glue. You've never used Tamir Extra Thin. It's a very, very thin glue. Do let me know if my head constantly keeps coming in shot, by the way, because I don't know. Very, very thin glue, and it does work its way into the recesses, but I'm not too fussed if I leave a little blob of glue sticking out here or there, or you know, anything like that, because it's a creature sort of. It's organic. It's got pustules and chips and dings and all kinds of things sticking out of it. So, and it's going to be painted to look minging and horrible and disease-ridden. So I'm not too fussed if the gluing is not, you know, brilliantly neat and tidy. I'll give it a little bit of a clampy there. Hold that together. Because it just adds a little texture to the plastic when it gets primed and put together. A little bit. I mean, I'm not going super crazy, but you'll see I'm not being like super delicate and neat. Because when I've painted this, it's going to have... let's clean that up a little bit. I'm going to have, you know, I'm going to be adding corrosion. I'm going to be adding a verdigris effect to some of the brass and bronze. I'm going to be adding filth and grime to all these things. So it's quite it's not quite as urgent to keep everything nice and clean and perfect. Perfect? That's not even a real word. Perfect. And, you know, squidge free. So, like, I might have a bit of squidge of glue there. I'll go back and, you know, sand it down with a file where the glue is squidged out, but I won't make it a nice, massively neat, smooth filing job. I might be a little heavy-handed because it just adds to the roughness of it and the character of it, I think. So that's that bit glue. We'll give it a minute to just grip. Let's have a look. How many pucks? Oh, we've done that one. The chaos of playing a chaos army, says Raging Bassist. Hello all, not feeling well, was sick at 1:45 AM, says Eon's car. Well, I hope you get better soon, dude. If you need to go and not be watching this and go and, you know, lie on a bed and groan and, you know, do all that illness type stuff, do feel free, but thank you for sticking around. Beyond Hope says, you'll be pleased to know that Games Workshop have released... Oh, it literally, as I was reading it, he retracted it. But he was saying that they've released a load of stuff, a load of Death Guard dudes or something, and then it literally, as I was reading that, he deleted it. So I don't know what that was. Ian's car says, my mum had it, so I got that. Hang on. Get well soon, says Dad. Eon says, my mum had it, so I got it, that, or it was a bad reaction to the salad dressing yesterday. Eric Graham says, yes, it looks like a chinchilla in the left corner. Wait, what? What we missed now? Chinchilla where? What? Don't know what you're talking about. Use a triangular file, dude, says Cy Reynolds. Have I got one? Do I have a triangular foil? I have a circular file. I have a flat... That's rubbish, that one. I have a half circle, half flat. And I think I had a triangular one, but I don't know where it is. It's long gone. I like to get creative. What was I going to use a triangular file on? I can't remember now. Do you mean on these bits? I can't remember. Folks, I was referring to Darren's videos go on for ages. Yours are fine, lol. I know. I like the building, but I can't be bothered with the weathering generally, says Osric. Oh, that's the fun bit. Use triangular file. It is 10 billion times faster. Is that a measured number? I can't remember what I was doing though when I was doing that. Fox does go forever with not a lot of work done. I'd get loads of work done, but you guys are hanging around. No, don't take that the way it sounded. They're not... Oh, here we go. Rolex Solution says, they're not new molds, they are really old, easy to build ones. A lot of people, me included, are really annoyed as it's real money grabbed by Games Workshop. Thanks, I didn't know that. A bit underhanded from Games Workshop, but they've done it before. I'm not sure what they've actually released. The last thing I saw was the orcs that they released. I know they've done three new orcs in a set for the Battle Spire or whatever it's called. Paul Di Tommaso is in. Hello, everybody. Welcome, Paul. Is Ted working yet? Hang on. Oh, Ted's still not working. I don't know why Ted doesn't work. I'm gonna have one more look, just to double check, because I must know why Ted doesn't work. Hang on. You press a button. This could go one of two ways. Where's me? There. Try once again. Back again. And we will do a bit of that. Pressing some buttons. I'll make sure the buttons work. Let's try. Yeah, the buttons are working because that popped up in chat for you. So, why is Ted not working? Ted is not working because I don't know. I'll figure it out later. I will figure it out later. Things obviously fallen over. I've deleted something somewhere, I reckon. Anyway, where are we? David Butch, that model is in. Yay! Dirty Dave, says Paul at Team Inept. Dude, poke those E-models crew for a set of the Misty Hobby files. They're amazing. It was for the pipe mold line. Oh, for that. Oh, right. I've got you. Yeah, if I had a much finer triangular file or something, it would be a lot faster to do that. Rather than using the scribing tool. Yes, I don't have one, which is why I was using the scribing tool. But then again, it's going to sit like that on the desk, on the base. So, we'll see. I'll be weathering it anyway, so we have dirt and mud and stuff all over it. The Space Marine Heroes Series 3 are new molds, but the recent Nurgle release is indeed old mold stock. I was suggesting you look at the new Blackstone Fortress box. No respite. I thought they were new Death Guard molds, but Rolex says not, so I retracted my comment. Oh, okay, cool. Raging Bassist is going bowling. Says he should be interesting. He's rubbish at it. He was going to do painting yesterday, but he got the lays. Want to finish 2 of my dice people. Uh-oh, Fox pushing buttons. Yeah, it's never a good idea. Right, so that's in a few minutes to dry. Right. What's next? I've got 60 people according to my button. I've got 60 people watching, so welcome to you all. There are, however, not 60 people in chat. So do feel free to come and say hello in chat. They're all lovely in chat. If you're watching this and you want to join the chat and you can't see where, if you're on a mobile device, scroll down below the video. There might be chat down there. Or, alternatively, hit the YouTube icon at the bottom of the video player. That will take you to the chat page, or to the YouTube page, where you can join the live chat. But do come and say hello. In fact, we'll try and wake up some of the lurkers. Let us all know where you're from. You don't have to give geographical information away and addresses and stuff. Just where are you from? I'm in Cheshire. There you go. It's like old AOL ASL, but without the S and the A. Right, so I need 39 first of all. 39, which is here. Welcome. Okay, all lurkers, sound out your country, says Mordraka. Team Inept says Foxballers' wives. Yes. Raging Bases says Cheshire represent. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm using my big fat Citadel nippers here, you'll notice, because I don't want to destroy my god hands, which are beautiful, but these nubs are the size of France. So what I can do is get it off the sprue first, and then come back and go in with the expensive and hard to get god hands in a moment. Let's have a look. Ian's car. I ain't no lurker at times, says Ian's car. Osric says hello from Chester. Paul de Tomas says Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. I haven't got. Hang on. I do the music, but it says thanks for watching, which is no good. We are going to have to go for a drink, mate, says Bassist. Absolutely. Well, we need to meet up at Goblin Games at some point. When I've got my Death Guard army and I don't know what the hell I'm doing with it, we'll have to go and have a game at Goblin. Cheshire 2 says Dad, you're a scally. Don't be trying that Cheshire nonsense. You're a scally and a scouser and you know it. Cheshire. By the skin of your teeth, young man. From Bristol, says Ian's car. Hello from Indiana, says Eric. Hampshire, where the Hampshire Ogs live, says Dave at Butcher That Model. Hampshire. Cynical Steve is from South Wales, but Manchester now. It's a good move to make. Now that's people we know that are in the chat. Where's all the lurkers that are watching but not in the chat that haven't seen their names yet? I bet there's a load of you out there who are new to the channel. And you're more than welcome. I love everybody. You're all my favourite children. But you're missing out if you're not joining in the live chat. Because silliness is always abounding in the chat. So come and say hello. Si Reynolds is Nottingham. Yep, Si lives in a terrible turn of fate. Si lives like within mere moments of the Warhammer World offices, which is the worst thing ever because I'd just be living on the street if that was the case. Because I wouldn't eat. I'd be living off cans of beans because all my money would go every month. Let's have a look. David Allowayne 3 says hi from Austria. Hello, David. Welcome. There's a lurker. Yay! All lurkers are welcome. Nice to see where people are. Like, country is fine. If you're not in the UK, just, say what country if you don't want to say specifically where. Not everybody likes to say where they are. But I like to know where my viewers are coming from. Jamie Bones in Somerset. There is lovely. I like that. Where are we? Starbridge, West Midlands. Alright, says Wayne Haywood. He doesn't say alright. I did that, and it's not Birmingham, so there you go. Mordraka says greetings from wet Capricorn Coast, Queensland, Australia. G'day. I seem to attract the Australians, which is a good thing. Good that it's wet, by the way. If you're having the waterings and the wettings there, that's good, because it's better than the alternative that you've been suffering for the last few weeks. From Manchester, but now in Poole, says David Sanderson. Yep, from a couple of roads away. Let's be honest, David. From the back of my house. Like a couple of doors down and at the back of. Let's have a look. Join the chat or suffer the disappointment of the almighty triangle, says Bassist. This is correct. Pascal says, always lurking because I'm always doing stuff now cleaning. Netherlands here. Welcome, Pascal. You're always present because you've got like 32 different monitors watching 32 different streams at all times. You're in every stream, chat, always. Remember, look, Pascal will be with you, always. Dad says he lives in Cheshire, but we all know the clue is his YouTube channel, Scally Models. Yes. Dan Kramer, South Dakota, USA. Welcome, Dan. See, you say that, dude, says Cy Reynolds, but I'm actually fooling with a lot of Conflict 47 stuff right now. Yeah, I do quite like the look of that Conflict 47 stuff. It does look quite mint. You know, the dangly bit there that's going to snap off if I'm not careful. David Ollerwin says, we just got issue 6 here and I'm watching your videos for painting it. One thing I would say, David, is to basically ignore all my painting guide videos on there so far, because I've actually abandoned that whole process. What basically is going to happen, what I was doing that you've been watching, is me basically following what the magazine says. And I realised that was an absolute waste of everybody's time. Because it's not the best, it's not going to give you the best paint job in the world ever. I can certainly do much better. And there's no real benefit to me spending all that time parroting what's in the magazine for you when you could just read the magazine and it'll tell you exactly the same thing. So what I'm doing now is, if you can bear with me, I've stopped filming the painting. I am getting everything built, which is what I'm doing now. These are from Conquest. Getting everything built. And then once everything has been built and I've received all 80 issues and there's nothing more to come and nothing more to be built, what I will do is I will start filming the painting process again. However, it'll be a proper paint job. I wouldn't say professional, because I'm not professional, but it'll be a proper paint job, hopefully a bit more advanced than they show you in the magazine. So I mean, if that's the level of painting you're happy with, then just carry on. Nothing wrong with that at all. The magazine will not take it that much further, a little bit maybe, but not massively. But if you can hang on while you're collecting these all up and getting them built, if you can hold fire, then later this year I will start filming the how to paint properly. And I'll be hopefully doing lots of things that they don't show you in the magazine. Little bits of weathering and chipping and more advanced techniques and using oil paints and things like that. There you go, I bent that bit. This bit here was already snapped in. Oh! It was on the sprue and it was bent backwards. Now I know it loops over something else, so I'm not too fussed. I'll fix that in a minute. But when I got the sprue, that bit was already bent forwards and I had to glue it in place, but I knew it was going to snap off. This plastic is, I've explained before, the plastic on these, it's brittler but softer but weird. And I'm finding, especially with the Death Guard models, a lot of little spiky bits and things. Even if I'm really super careful and delicate, a lot of little spiky bits and things are just snapping off really easily. Whereas if it was the official GW sprue, you wouldn't have that problem. They wouldn't snap off as easily. Like I didn't have anything snap off my Vex Machinator when I built that. Just nothing happened to it at all. But on these things, I've had things snapping all over the damn place. Right, so this needs to go on there. No, hang on, I've got to clean that up yet. There's a thing there. Seam line. Seam line. Do 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 do. So yeah, so it's up to you. I'm obviously super grateful that you've watched them so far, and I hope they've been helpful. But what I will be doing is I will be taking the ones I've already painted and stripping them completely. and starting from scratch to do a proper paint job. And I won't like filming every single model. I'll do things like, here's how I'm going to paint the Space Marine. There you go. Because I'm also not going to be painting them in the standard colours either. They're not going to be Ultramarines. I'm doing them for George, and he's got very specific design he wants done. So they're going to be properly painted. But I'll do things like, let's do a Space Marine. Then you can apply that to all the Space Marines. I'll do things along the lines of, now we'll paint I'll do all the vehicles individually and things like that. There'll still be tons of content. Right, that goes on, doesn't go on there like that at all. Let's just look at the instructions. That goes like that way. There we go. That's correct, you see. Right, so that goes on there like that, which fits beautifully. But I need to clean out the end of these tubes. So yes, as soon as these are all built, the first thing I will be doing is stripping the paint off all the ones I've painted so far. And then starting again. So I'll split it into things like how to paint a Space Marine, how to paint how to paint an Intercessor. Then you can go ahead and paint all your Intercessors. How to paint a, Inceptor. How to paint the Rhino. I'll do vehicles and things like that as individual episodes, obviously, because they'll be standalones. The named characters, like, Lieutenant Calcium. I know. Lieutenant Calcius, he'll be done as a standalone episode. All the major build, like this, will get his own episode. Things like that. But where I've got, like, Poxwalkers, there's 40 Poxwalkers, I'm going to show you how to paint one. Because they're all kind of the same. Right, so this goes on there. This bit that's snapped off like a gimp sits on there, so I can just glue that over. That's no problem at all. Let's get that glued on. Dave Butch, I don't know what the conversation is, but he's saying there's more chance of me painting Snot than painting something Ultramarine. I just find the Ultramarines really boring. Because they're kind of the poster boys, and it's like, yeah. However, in a lucky escape with this part work, George, like I said, George is co-funding this. He's helping to fund this whole project. And he will be keeping the Space Marines, and I'll be keeping the Death Guard. So he does not want them painted as Ultramarines, which is good for me because I don't want to paint them as Ultramarines. It's boring. So I'm not quite in a position where I'm going to say what they're going to be painted as, because it's not 100% decided. But there's been a couple of ideas we've had. So stay tuned. You'll find out. Although they may not get painted standard Ultramarine colours, they'll have an interesting colour scheme, and the techniques I share will be applicable to any colour scheme you want. Right, so there we go. Now, there's a little bit of a crack there where this piece snapped off, but it's not the end of the world. Again, this is Death Guard. They're going to be weird anyway. We can cover it up with something. I'll figure it out. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about it. Right, so push that bit on there. I'm trying to get the plastic to squidge out. And we'll have a look at chat. Anyway, yes, so all the people that are I know some of you are still lurking. Welcome anyway. Even if you just lurk, you're more than welcome to join in. I hope you're having fun. I don't tend to get much done. I've done more in this show so far today than most shows, let's be honest. I'm going to glue this little blob here because that's going to break off. I know it. None of these little diddly parts are going to survive more than, a little bit. Let's have a look. Where are we up to? Raging Bassist has had to leave us. Thanks for coming in there, buddy. Michael Storman is from Halifax. Eric Graham says Stabity Times. No, you missed that. It's ages ago. Warhammer Pascal, you're cleaning the Netherlands. That's got to be a non-stop job. Flat. Excuse me. Edward Leonard is in South Florida, USA. You didn't need to put USA on the end. I love the way. See, this is what tickles me. I love the way that Like, to anybody, most people in the world, if you say a place, like, you know, like Paris or Berlin or something, they'll know where you mean. But I like the fact that Americans have to just add the country just in case. Like, it's Paris, France. Or, I know there's a Paris in Texas. Or, you know, South Florida, USA. We know. I love the way Americans do that. Yeah, don't follow Fox painting Space Marines. He will not do the right chapter colour scheme. Heretic. Yes. Dave likes Ultramarines because he's boring. Fox isn't too bad at his colour schemes. It's Chris at Gross Models that paints everything orange, says Beyond Hope. Lol, gotta love when you break off tiny pieces, says Paul. Yeah, this plastic, because it's not Games Workshop plastic, it's knockoff Chinese manufacture process. It's weird. Charlatan Triple X, I have to quit for now. Family's desperately hungry. Have fun. Thanks for popping in there, Charlatan. Although you're not here now, but hey, thank you very much for coming in. Space Marines blue is the way to go, says Eric Graham, and Dad says no. Stripping Space Marines, this is against the Codex Astartes, says Ian's car. Edward Leonard farted bloat drone, yes. Red is an overrated colour, says Eric Graham, and then says, oh, hi Dad. A terrorist is in. Afternoon, Fox and friends. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. Welcome. Don't forget you have the power to mute or ban unruly chat members, says Beyond Hope to Dad. There is a Space Marine chapter where they are a radiant red, orange, yellow scheme, or gradient. I think it means graded, like from red to orange to yellow. Red, orange, yellow scheme looks great, but I'd imagine a pain to paint. Yeah. Jamie Bowen, has anyone seen the new AK acrylic paint pots? I haven't even heard of them, to be honest. Anybody in chat that's tried them out? Butch, the model, had a lot of fun over the last few days converting spare Stormcast into scenery statues. No one who is not a heretic will paint their Marines blue. That's like multiple negatives, and now I'm confused as to the meaning of that sentence. I do it because I assume that people in other countries know the US states. There are many Americans who have no idea where South Dakota is, says Dan Kramer. Yeah, ATTG says afternoon all. Welcome, ATTG. Right, so that's that bit. Now, this is going to be a ball ache. I can see this because I can't find the base. Where's the base? Oh, look, can you? There it is. This has got approximately just that little tiny contact area to attach itself to the base. Yeah, that's probably not going to be so bad. I can see this not surviving being put in any kind of travel case, though. Right, what we got left? We've got the weaponings. 35 and 36. Let's get them off first. Let's get it off. Where's my nipple-ons? 35 and 36. That's 37, so I want not that one. Right, let's catch up on what's been going on. What gossip and news do I have? What's been going on? Well, nothing major been happening here in the last week or so, other than obviously ongoing issues with the streaming on Saturdays. Now, if you weren't around yesterday, last week I had an issue whereby the Saturday Sidewinder Saturday stream died after half an hour. And I assumed it was an issue with something on the computer scheduled in. Like the auto Windows update, where it just it checks for any Windows updates and antivirus updates and, scans, checks the system, sees what you got, then downloads them. And my assumption was that was being triggered about 3:30, 20 past 3, 3:30 on a Saturday, and that it was then overloading my CPU because it's probably a very expensive process to run, and that was causing my whole system to crash. Because what was happening was, it wasn't just that the stream was stopping, my internet was fine, there was no connection issue, my whole computer was just locking up, freezing, and you had to physically turn the power off at the socket to turn the computer off. So I figured it's a PC problem, it's not a network issue. and it's only specific. Only seems to happen when I'm doing a video game stream on a Saturday, because I'm running a lot more software than I would be if I'm doing this kind of stream. This kind of stream is camera, streaming software. That's it. That's all I've got going. Right, folks, got to run. Much love to you all. Truth be told, I'm a little bored. Ta-ta. I see what you did there. Much appreciated. Take care, Kev. See you soon, buddy. Yeah, you might think he's being a bit rude there, but no, don't worry about it. It's an in-joke. Yeah. So, yes, anyway. So, my assumption was that perhaps Windows Update was running. So what I did for last week, I basically turned off auto update on Windows in the morning. The plan being that then it won't do all its usual checks and balances and look for any Windows updates. And it didn't. But the stream still crashed. And I'm like, oh. So I did a test on Wednesday with all that turned off and it was fine. So what I've done now is I did some more research, and I did two things. I went into, now I don't know anything about computers. My computer knowledge is rubbish, so I'm assuming I've not done anything really bad. After checking online and reading some bits and bobs, I went into the PowerShell and I looked at the Windows Defender setup, and it was set to do a Windows Defender verification. It had no specific day set. It was set to 8, which means no specific day set. So it then just does its verification on its own kind of schedule. So on the off chance that its own kind of schedule, because I hadn't set, it wasn't being told when to do it, was Saturday at about 3:30, I set it to do it on a Friday, because there's nothing going on a Friday. So I changed that. Then, at the same time, I did some more checking and research, and I went into my task event manager, which I didn't even know was a thing, and I set all my Defender events, like downloading, updating the definitions, all that kind of stuff, to specific things on Thursdays and Fridays, so that when it does do all its bits and bobs, it doesn't do it on a Saturday. Because it's never happened on a Sunday. The crashing has never happened on a Sunday. So I knew it was either because I'm running more software, because when I do this stream, like I say, this stream is just camera and the software. That's it. But when I do a game stream, it's the streaming software, it's the Xbox companion app on the computer, and it's lots of data going from the Xbox to the computer, and then from that's the streaming software, and so on and so on and so on. So I either assumed it was either I'm overwhelming the CPU and the GPU and they're just falling over, I need to upgrade my PC, or there's something else running at about the same time that suddenly kicks in. And because when I'm doing the video game stream, my CPU is average is about 50% usage, and my GPU is about the same, 50 to maybe 60%. You know, to take in the video and audio from the Xbox, to process it into the Xbox app, and then to do a screen capture. The stream software takes a screen capture of, or display capture of, the Xbox gameplay. It's all that video processing, but that's only averaging, say, 45 to 50% CPU and 50 to 60% GPU. So it's still not a problem. My computer can cope with it. So my assumption then was it's something else suddenly kicking in and just boosting those up to over 100, to the point where it struggles on for a bit and then just falls over. That's my assumption. Now, without knowing what is actually happening, of course, it's very difficult to know what process is doing that. And in the end, I did assume it was, say, Windows Defender, because there was some Defender action at about that time that I was able to find. So we shall see. I'll do another stream on Saturday next week and we'll see what happens. If it falls over again, then I am at a loss. I think what I'll have to do is maybe just stop doing stream at that time on a Saturday. We'll just see. We shall see. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm getting rid of all the little mould lines on this weaponage. Got to go now. Food is ready. It might not be in Chris's stream later because I have a cricket match which doesn't finish till 9, says Jamie. Well, thank you for coming in anyway, Jamie. Enjoy your dinner, even though you didn't tell us what it is, which is against the rules. And enjoy your cricket later on. Such dedication to sport. In this weather, I'd have no dedication to any kind of sport. I'd be like, nah. You coming out to play this sporting game? Nah, I'll sit inside where it's warm and I can watch telly. Thanks. Fox built that. It's pretty solid. Cool. I'm assuming you're talking to this. Somebody asks Dave how he did the converting Stormcast to statues for scenery, and he says he's done a couple of quick videos, going to post it on the Boom Hut. Panzermeister 36 has put up a video showing the new paints. That's about those other ones. Fox, can you please put the correct pledge product for dipping canopies, etc. in your Amazon store, says Lewis Williamson. It should be in there. I should have pledge. It's currently pledge revive it if you're in the UK. I think in the US. I can't remember what I've got in my Amazon store, but it should be either pledge 2 times more shine, so pledge floor care finish, or it should also have pledge revive it. If I haven't got any of them, then yes. Let me know in chat if I've not got any of them. I thought I had them in there. You might have to scroll down a bit, and it'll be in one of the. They might be in the paints and tools section. I'm not sure, but it should be in there. But if you're really stuck and you want to know, oh no, you know which one it is, don't you? Of course you do. But if anybody out there wants to get the pledge and you never know, sure, because it does change name every 5 minutes, I can tell you exactly. The one thing you need to look for is the formula number on the inside of the label, and the formula number is, I have it stored on my phone as an address. You're looking for, it'll say SC Johnson formula, and it will say hashtag 35*3597. Hashtag 35*3597. It's only because it changes its name all the time. Oops, steady. Nearly. It changes its name all the time. So sometimes it's called, it used to be called Pledge Multi-Surface Wax, then it was Pledge Floor Care Finish. Now it's Pledge Revive It. And I wish they'd just settle down and stop calling it different things. But they never will. So, yeah. Hashtag 35*3597. Just look for that formula number on the inside. Usually on the inside of the label, you can look through the bottle. As long as it's got that. But yes, I'll have a look on the store later on. If it's not on there, I'll add it for you, buddy. But it should be. I thought I would have put it on there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, a lot of us do use Pledge Floor Care Finish or Pledge Revive It on our models as a utilitarian gloss coat. It's basically, I'll show you the bottle if I can find one. Hang on, I've got to go under my desk. Hang on a second. I haven't got a bottle of Pledge Revive It. I've got a bottle of Pledge Floor Care Finish. It's what a lot of us use as a sort of a utilitarian gloss varnish. It's basically an acrylic gloss varnish. Some people get a bit shouty about it, like, why would you use that? Blah, blah, blah. And I just tell them, shut up. It's an acrylic gloss varnish, same as any other acrylic gloss varnish. I don't use it for if I want to make a shiny model, though. I only use it for utility coats. So if I'm doing decals or weathering and I need a gloss coat, and I don't particularly want to use any of my expensive Alclad Aqua Gloss or something like that. Because it's going to get covered up in matte varnish and other paints and other things anyway. And it's a fine acrylic gloss coat. Things like weathering and decals. I wouldn't recommend it for actual making a shiny model because it's not as glossy as a specific model making varnish, and also it's not particularly sandable. It's designed for flooring, so it's not designed for what we actually want to use it for. So if you're making a shiny car or a shiny plane or something, yeah, use a proper gloss varnish. But if you just want to get a gloss coat, stick some decals down, or you need a gloss coat for a pin wash or something like that, you can use your normal model making ones that are, you know, 11 quid a bottle, or you can get a 750ml bottle of that for like 3 quid. For the little tiny bit you'll need. But it's up to you. It's just another tool. And there's always people that shout about it and say, oh, well, you should go on your floor and on a model, you know, the rivet counters. I just tell them to shut up. because people have been using Pledge, which is also known as Future and Clear in the US. Modelers have been using that product for like 25 years, 30 years for gloss coats and for dipping canopies. And I'm pretty sure if you give me some mouthy bloke on Facebook saying, "Oh my god, why'd you use this gloss varnish? You're an idiot." You know, passive aggressive nonsense. On the other hand, I've got 25 years of modelers, both amateur and professional, saying, yes, I've used it for 25 years and it's absolutely fine. I'm going to go off the people that have been using it for 25 years. No problem, thanks very much. It's long been known as a modelling aid. But yes, let me know, Lewis. If it's not on the store, I do apologise. I thought it was in there already, so that's a bit rum that it's not on there. On that note, though, don't forget, I do have an Amazon store. Woo! It's on there. If you need to pick something up, the links, again, as always, are in the description below the video. If you need to pick some stuff up from Amazon, before you go ahead and just buy it, have a quick look on my Amazon store. Links in the description below. It won't cost you any more money. You know, if you're in the US or UK, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does help me out massively. It helps support this channel. Now, if there's something on there, something you're after that's not in the Amazon store, just let me know. Hit me up on Facebook or email or somewhere. It takes me like seconds. If there's an item you need to buy and it's not in my store, send me a link to it. I'll add it to my store in seconds. And even if it's not actually model making related, you'll see there's a folder in there called other stuff. That's things like people that have needed to buy something. I need to buy a birthday present for somebody, or I need to buy a kid's toy. Can you stick it in your store and I can help you out? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. So even if it's like you've got to buy a 16 pack of toilet rolls, send me a link, I'll stick it in my store. You can order it at no extra expense and you'll be helping me out massively. So check it out. US and UK, I'm afraid, at the moment only. I could add other stores, but to be blatantly honest, it's a massive load of administration to set them up in the first place. Also, it's a living nightmare to try and figure out how to set them up. So, if you're in the US or the UK and you want to help me out, go and have a look. The only thing, I will only put stuff in terms of model making products, the only things I put in that store are things that I have personal experience of myself. So if there's something in my store, I have used it, or at worst, I know people who have used that thing and therefore can vouch for it. People that I trust their opinions. I don't just go and stick some random thing in there and yeah, that'll do. So, if there's something I think is garbage, I'm not going to put it in my Amazon store. Because I don't want you guys to use garbage. This is taking forever. What time are we on? Half 4. Cleaning up this little doohickey weapon thing is taking approximately all the time in the world. But you love it, really. Right, where are we up to? Chat seems to have stopped. I'm going to refresh to make sure it's not me. Or has chat just stopped? It's entirely possible. Is anyone else thinking that if Fox sniffs really hard, his moustache will vanish up his nose? I'll tell you what though, having a bushy moustache is really cool until you actually have to eat something messy, especially something messy like a McDonald's, like a big, you know, any kind of big messy burger or noodles and things. It becomes a right pain then. Anything's like messy, yeah, it becomes a bit of a logistic challenge. Let's just say when I go out for a meal, I want all the napkins in the world, because moustaches are brilliant, but they're a right pain in the butt, ironically, if you know what I mean. Right, this is where I need Cy Reynolds now, because I don't know what the end of this weapon should look like. It's got no hole in the end, but I'm assuming it should have a hole. But how do you put a hole in the end of a weapon where it's got an elliptical barrel? I don't even begin to know how I would deal with that. I'm tempted just to leave it until I can do more research. Dude, he's got a really sci-fi look to it. Yeah, I'm tempted to not actually. There's a thing there. I could drill a hole in that. but I don't know what that is. That goes on the top. It's not circular. I'll zoom in and you'll see it's not. Zoom in. It's kind of that shape. So how would I even begin to carve or drill that out? I mean, I could do it with lots of little drill holes, but it would be not something I want to do on stream where I need to really pay attention. So yeah, maybe not. We'll leave that for now. And if I try and drill this bit out on the top, I'm probably going to break it. Use an oval file. Maybe that gun fires elliptical bolts. Let's have a look. Task Manager, open it. Will show you what maxing out the PC, says Epic Lizard. Hello, Epic Lizard. Yes, no, I had Task Manager open when the stream was doing yesterday, but it just crashes like that. And I have all my streaming software running, so I can't see Task Manager anyway, because I have to have the streaming software on top. So it was literally, it goes like that. The Xbox says, I've stopped streaming, and that's how I know my computer's now frozen up, and I can't go and look at Task Manager because the computer is completely locked. So there's no way for me to actually know live what's going on. It's a pain in the bum. But my hope is that now I've used the event planner thing, my task scheduler, to schedule all my Windows Defender tasks. Hopefully it will be fixed. We shall see. Right, where's this going? This goes there like that, you see? And then this attaches here like that. Okay, so that goes on. Where does this actually go? It just sits there. Is this going to be where I have to glue something on and then make it join up to 4 different things? This goes on like that there, but it's a ball joint, so it clearly needs to join up. Okay, so that needs to... this is going to be a pain in the butt cheeks, isn't it? So that needs to go in there, like that, you'll see. Or is it like that? Wow, fiddle-tastic. What? That makes no sense whatsoever what you just showed me there, where to glue this in. Let's get the other one built first anyway. I'm not going to glue those together. This bit has to glue onto the gun, and then that cable has to link up with something somewhere. I just don't know where. I'm not massively confident where that's supposed to attach to. That goes in... Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Hang on. Right. That goes in... Right. 3-dimensional shapes, Fox. Use your shapes. Use your shapes. Is that the right side or the wrong side? This doesn't seem to... That needs to go there. Apparently. Special mode. Oh, okay, that goes there. Alright, well that clicks on there. We can do that. Alright, that makes sense. It might be worth me gluing that in first, I don't know yet. Because that goes on there, but then there's a ball joint for this weapon to sit on that. But of course, if I glue this piece on here, and on the other weapon separately, and then try and glue them on, they could be pointing at different angles. It's going to be better for me, because these don't move, if I glue this piece on first, I think, and then attach the weapon later, because then I can adjust the weapon so they're both pointing in the same direction, maybe? That side. It just kind of snicks into place. It's just not very obvious the exact position, I think. I had it and now I've lost it. Oh. Was it that side? Oh, the end. There you go. Okay, that locks into place there. Yes, it does, Fox. On the hour, what I was hinting at earlier. Yes, it does, Fox. Yeah, I know these were these bits, but this bit seems to glue into the body in a fixed position like that. You've only got one option. It goes there, and that's it. Doesn't go on the other side, so that fits there. But there's no movement in that. That doesn't go anywhere. So if I glue that to this first and then try and mount the weapon, depending on the angle that I have this arm at, your weapon could be pointing like that. And if I do the other one, it's not going to be pointing in the same direction. So I think it's more logical. Tell me if I'm wrong here, Mordraka. I think it's safer and more logical if I glue this to the body first, like that, and glue the other one on, and therefore they're locked in place, and then I can attach the weapons on the ball joint and glue them in, and then I think that'll be better. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it that way. I had to prop the weapons up with paint pots. Well, I think I'm gonna have to glue these little bits onto the side first. I think, because I can't guarantee I'll get. Oh, there's a little knob there, a little nubule. There is a little sort of locating square pin for it, but it's not 100% fixed. I'm going to glue these on first. What's the worst thing that can happen? Right, let's get these in. So we're going to use the fat Tamiya glue first, the Tamiya thick glue, because it's a load bearing structure. Dotted that in there, not too much, just a little bit. We're going to glue that on there. That sits on there like that. Squish it down, give it a second. Try not to snap all the little delicate bits I'm going to have to handle when I'm going past it. You can get some Tamiya extra thin to pool into that, to melt the plastic together. The regular Tamiya glue is I use that on load bearing structures because it's not as strong as the extra thin. The extra thin is a welding cement. It melts the plastic together. It melts the polystyrene of both parts. And then when it flashes off and dries away, the plastic has run together. Instead of having two parts glued together, you now have one part. That's how it works. I need to keep these separate though on the other side, don't I? That's going to be more fiddly doing it that way, but it would be easy to glue them aligned, get them aligned. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, to be honest. So we're going to get these both little bits glued on, and then when they're locked in and dry and secure, I can then get the weapons on and get them kind of lined up. A swig of tea, coffee even. Now it may be, depending on how much of a pain in the arse these are to get on, I might even magnetise them, but I don't think I will, because that's far too much effort. Right, we need 38 for the little piece, which is... I've already forgotten what I was talking about anyway. What was I talking about? Somebody tell me, I've got no idea. I can use my God hands for this, because in little tiny little connector points. I'll save myself the effort. There we go. I built it, but I don't remember building it. I left my drone weapons as is. I'm thinking plasma. There's David Sanderson. I'm throwing up a photo of two plague splitters on the boom hut. The painted one is the same as the one you're building now, Fox. I can't check the boom hut right now, though, unfortunately. It's a plague splitter, drill it. But it's not a circular... I'll figure it out. It's another reason why I haven't glued them on yet, so I can play with them and drill them as well. This is going to end in tears, says Dave, and swearing. Now you know what the mod said the other week. It's dangerous giving Fox an option. It won't end in tears. I've glued on far more fiddly things than a couple of weapons. I've built Italeri kits. I've built Revell Star Trek kits. You build a Revell Star Trek kit, you can build anything. I built the Defiant, the Revell Defiant, the big one. Yeah, you build that, you build anything. I built the limited edition Revell Voyager with the decals that go inside the windows to make it look like there's people walking about. Guthorm, just stay. You know, once you built that, you can build anything. Anything can be built. So a couple of guns on the side, yeah, not a problem. These little seaming lines. Now I can't use the seam line removal tool because this is far too small an area. So I'm going to have to bite the bullet and use the knife. Am I head in shot? I don't know. I've got no idea. I had a plan that I would sit back and do this, and then, yeah, it never works out that way. Anyway, how are you all? Yes, I was about to tell you what I've been up to. What's been going on in the world before I got talking about the stream. So, yeah, plans are underway. On Saturday, I will either do another Elite live stream as normal and hope it doesn't fall over, or I'll do it like without it being public, so I'm just testing it and you guys won't see it. So stay tuned. There will either will or won't be a stream on Saturday. I'm open-ended. What else has been going on? I have this week, well, kind of last week and this week, I've had a massive clear out and tidy up of the workbench area this last few days. Not so much on the workbench, although I've done a little bit of clean up and tidy up, but a massive amount of clean up under the workbench, because it got to the point where I looked down behind the workbench and there were so many cobwebs in one corner of the room, and I'm like, oh, and yeah, because it's a corner I can't get to. It's like the corner over there. I can't get to it, so it never gets looked at. And I'm like, I need to just get everything out from under the table, the workbench, and just have a good clear out. So what I did was, I basically spent a whole day getting all the stuff from under the workbench, seeing what it all was, and clearing it all out, giving a good hoover and a good clean up, and reorganising. What basically happened was that I need to just wipe my nose. What basically happened was that 95% of the stuff down there was just junk that I don't need, that I can live without. I haven't touched it in 5 years. It's not something I need. So there's like little bits of, there were little things, there were little wooden bases that I had plans to use years ago and never did, and little bits and bobs. I just threw it all out. Boxes of stuff and all kinds of bits. It wasn't rubbish. It was just stuff that I'm never going to use. So in the end, I just took it all to the tip. What it meant is, I now had a load of space under my workbench. So I've managed to take a load of my stash that was like sitting on top of my computer desk and on top of my Detolf cabinet and things like that, and looking terrible in this room, and I've stuck it under my desk. So most of my stash now is under my workbench. I'm like, yes! So I felt really good afterwards, and then I thought, well, what I'll do is, now I've done under there, I may as well clean the top of the workbench. So I took all my Hobby Zone units out and everything on the workbench, stripped everything off the workbench, gave it a good clean, and hoovered out everything I could find. All my little Hobby Zone units that are like paint racks and stuff, I gave them a jolly good hoovering and brushing, all that kind of stuff, because there's stuff behind the Hobby Zone boxes that are hard to get to, so they were a bit dusty, so they were a good clean. Everything's had a good scrub, a good spring clean. All started when I got my Hobby Zone things. I'm like, you know what, let's have a good clean out. And it was also because I was watching, I think I was watching Chris's Hangout on Thursday. No, not this week, last week. His Hangout and Paint, his Hangout Friends thing on Thursday. And there was a photo, it might have been that stream, there was a photograph of somebody's workbench and all the stash was underneath it. And I'm thinking, why don't I just put my stash underneath the damn workbench? Because I had a load of stuff stashed, and it was basically on my computer desk. I've got my computer desk and the monitor, and then there's like a shelf above the monitor where stuff can go on. You could have a second monitor perhaps. But I had a load of stash on it, and it's like it was covering up half my window, so it was like I wasn't getting daylight in here. There's a big pile of like all kind of massive kits in front of the window. So I've tidied it all away, and now it's like, wow, I can actually see daylight and everything. It's amazing. Who knew there was a sun out there? Who knew? Who could have known that? Right, have a quick look at chat in a second. The weapons remind me of the original alien ships in War of the Worlds. Yeah, they do have a bit of a sci-fi look on them, which is weird for 40k. Plague Spitters. Given the fact that I've now got enough Death Guard to have a small army, both through Conquest and through the ones I've been gifted, I actually know nothing about the Death Guard. I don't know anything about their weapons. So before I actually go and play with any of these, once they're all painted, I will need to spend a little while just learning what the hell I've actually built. It's like, do you like my army? Yeah, it's look great. What is it? I don't know. I just built it and painted it. I don't even know what weapons are, so I'll figure all that out. Throwing it. Beyond Hope. Just post a pic of the modded minis in the boom hut. Not sure what we're talking about there. Just wondering how the oval hole was done. The bloat drone was done by Mordraco9. You may be able to explain how he made the barrel hollow. The unpainted one has not been drilled. That's one from the multi-part kit that had the other weapon options in it. I can't look at it at the minute, unfortunately. I can't share it on screen either. So the only way I could think, I'm going to zoom in again for you. The only way I can think is to deal with this barrel would be to either just simply drill a hole in the middle like that, like a round hole. That's not a round dot obviously, but drill a round hole in the middle within the little oval shape, and that will be it. It would look a little weird, but it would work. Or to drill out like a hole in the middle and then a smaller hole on either side, and then somehow file it or sand it that way. That's the only way I could think to do it. I don't know. I don't know. I have to think about that. I'm not gluing these on yet anyway, so it's not the end of the world. But we'll get the other one off and we'll get it cleaned up. Swig of coffee. Oh. Let's have a look. I've lost track of the conversation, so I don't know if he's explaining how we drilled them out there. For Death Guard weapons, I think sprue go on a sprue, except with noxious gases and poisonous sludge. You mean for making dribbly effects and stuff? Oh yeah. Oh, there you go. He's saying, yeah, I get it now. He's saying Mordraco did the bloat drone, so he may be able to explain how he drilled out the barrel. Oh, the unpainted one. Oh, okay, right. I'll just move on now. Drill central hole, then Dremel at angle to create the oval shape, says Beyond Hole. Yeah, that would work. Dremel, me and a Dremel. Yes. My Dremel is like, it's literally on or off. It's not got any speed on it, so yeah, I might not do that. Not with my Dremel. That would be asking for sadness and trouble, I think. Right, so we need to get the other gun cut out and cleaned up. We've got to put the little engine on the back and the sides, glue him on the base. So we'll get him glued on the base, I think, now. Which base do I want? The 60mm base. Yeah, I want the 60mm base. So he needs to go on here like that, you see? Goes on there like that. There's no real great lost art to this. It's just going to be sticking him on. Let's just stick him on. Doodle. So I'm going to use the thick glue again. It's load bearing. So extra thin will give you a stronger connection, like I said, because it's a welding cement. It will give you a stronger attachment because it's basically welding the plastic together. Whereas the fat glue will not. It doesn't really do that quite as much. But extra thin takes a minute or so to actually kick in. And until it does, there's no real stickiness. Nothing's glued to anything. So the problem you have then is that this would just fall over. Whereas with the fat glue, that'll sit there now. Now if I lift it up, it'll probably fall off. But if I give it half a minute or a minute, once I've done that, I can go in with the extra thin and get that underneath, and that will then start to bond the plastic together. Because right now, this fat glue is not... Oh, zoom out, sorry. Yeah. I'll stay zoomed in a little bit, just because so you're not like all the way back. Now, how's picture? If I'm half zoomed in like that, how's the picture quality? It's looking a bit dark at the moment. So if I give it a few seconds just to let it do its work, it does do a little bit of the plastic melting stuff, but not quite as much. Not as aggressively as the extra thin, so that's why I want to use both. And I don't chew my nails, I just trim them. Because look, there you go, there's some nail trimmers. I always trim my nails before I do a live stream when I got my hands on the screen, because I don't like mingy nails. If I'm watching a video and someone's got really manky nails, I just can't watch it. I wouldn't go on their chat and say your nails are manky because that's pathetic, but I wouldn't watch it because it's gross. So what I'll do now is add a few seconds to just sort of adhere a little bit so that I can lift it up. I'll go in with the extra thin. Now what you might find if you're doing this yourself when you're attaching something like this, you may find that the extra thin reactivates it and makes it all fall apart again. A little noise then. That is possible. So I have to give it a few moments just for the regular fat glue to kick in. Right, there we go. That is on there. So the extra thin will seep underneath and it will start to weld that plastic together. So technically you will get the strongest of all bonds with the extra thin. You could say, well, you could use super glue. Super glue is a strong bond, but it's very brittle and is not very resistant to shock. That's kind of the strongest bond you're going to get, because it's literally take 2 bits of plastic, liquidize them, scrunch them together, they go hard. There you go, locked. It's now locked together. That's how it works. Right, so quick look at chat. It would be better to cut the end off and scratch build the end with some sort of brass plate, says David Butcher, that model. If you can make the end of that in brass plate, then you could just make this whole model out of brass plate, because you'd be a genius sculptor and you'd be in the wrong job. Let's have a look. David Sanderson, oops, sorry, lol. Yeah, no, I don't chew my nails. I never chew my nails. I don't understand why people do chew their nails. I can't. I've got dry skin, which is why they're a bit flaky around the edges, but yeah, just trim them. Yeah, I can't be doing when you're watching a video and they're doing something with their hands and they've got like manky nails. I'm like, oh. I've seen them where people will, you know, if they're doing, I don't mind if they've got like paint on their hands because they're airbrushing and stuff, that's fine, I don't mind that. But I've seen videos where somebody's making something and they've got crap under, they've got long nails they haven't trimmed, and it's like, not a woman with long nails, but like it's a bloke with like manky nails, and they've got gunk under the nail. I'm like, no. You could at least, if you can't be bothered cutting nails, you could at the very least, you know, just kind of clean under them. Oh, gross. Grossing me out. Right, let's get the other weapon, plasma spitter. What's it called? Not plasma spitter, plague spitter. Cleaned up. Also not have that in front of the chat, which would be handy. I could drill out that little bit that sticks up because it's got a hole in it, but I don't know. It looks a bit delicate and I'll probably just break it, which would be typical for me. Right, so I'll use the big fat clippers again because it's got big fat connection points. Where are we? There we are. Centre point here. Centre point there. You can see my little marker. Drill the centre with the larger of the Games Workshop drill bits, then use the drill bit that is the next step down on the either side. Use a small point file to clean the drillings, says Mordracker. Yeah, I don't know if I'm that good at drilling to not make a complete mess of that. I'll be blatantly honest. I can't even guarantee that I get the main big drill hole out in the middle. So, I don't know. I'm not the best drillist in the world when it comes to that. You know, if I drill a hole in a barrel, it's not quite centered. I can fudge it with a bit of cunning knife work, but when it's something that big, I may just have to resort to painting that bit black and just keeping quiet. I don't know. Nobody can be a master of everything, and it's often better to admit what you can't do than try and claim you can do everything. Which is why I happily say I'm a painter, not a builder. You know, the building part of the like I was saying before, the building part of the process bores me rigid. I get no enjoyment from building at all. It's just a necessary evil. You have to do it to get to the painty bit, which is one of the reasons I kind of fell for Gunpla and Bandai kits for a while. Was that a lot of that stress of the build is actually removed completely because it's just push fit. You've got the denubbing, but other than that, there's no real stress involved. And that's one of the things that sold me on Bandai for a long time. Because, yeah, you had the denubbing, but at the same time, you could just crack on with that, get that done, before you know it, you're painting. Of course, then there's a whole issue of you can't use all your regular painting techniques, but yeah, we can live with it. So we'll get this bit cleaned up. See how much we can get done before we finish today. Chat has slowed down a bit, so I'll just crack on for a few minutes. What else has been going on? Nothing really else to report this week. You may have seen I've posted up a few shots on the Facebooks and other places, social medias, of George's Sazabi, which I can show you, but the camera's in completely the wrong place. So that is slowly cracking on. I reckon I should have the actual mobile suit for the Sazabi build done in the next few days, just completely finished. So the plan for this week, I keep saying this, but the last couple of months, real life keeps just dumping all over me in the worst possible moment. I don't mean like, you know, bad things are happening. I just mean stuff gets in the way, and every time I say, right, this week I'm going to get this done, and then, you know, 3 things happen that mean I can't. So I reckon by the end of this week, by this time next week, I should have finished completely the mobile suit. Hopefully should be on to filming the figure and the diorama. Because once I've done the mobile suit, I'll show you in a minute. Once I've done the mobile suit, I've got to paint and sort out the weapon. That needs to be done. That's just primed at the minute. I need to prime and paint the base because it's going on a little sort of picture frame diorama. And I need to paint the figure because it's got a roughly 1/20th scale Kira Yamato figure, which is kind of being commandeered to fit in. It won't be actually made to look like Kira Yamato, but that figure will be commandeered to fit in the diorama. So I think I'll definitely have the mobile suit finished by the end of this week. Even if things go awry and schedule gets messed up, I'll definitely have that done by the end of the week. But obviously I haven't been... It was a Patreon exclusive build, and one of the reasons that there's not been a lot of content on for anybody at the moment is because that was a Patreon exclusive build. I wasn't filming it for anybody to watch other than patrons. And while I was doing the outlining process, it was so laborious and so finicky and so delicate that I didn't want to film it. So there's been a bit of a gap. So once it's done, that's why I filmed. If you want to know how I do the outlining technique, it's on the open to public to everybody. It's a public video. It's the 40k Gene Stealer Cults Ridge Runner thing that I painted as a bandit technical. That was my test pig to see if I could do the Borderlands style on George's Sazabi. So that's that. So I put that up because I knew I wouldn't be filming while I was doing the outlining. Once that's done, I want to then film doing the base and the figure as the last video for my patrons. So maybe the last 2 videos. So that hopefully should be this week and next week. Once that's done, of course, then it's time to crack on with the big perfect grey Millennium Falcon. Because I need to get some content on my channel for you guys that isn't just Warhammer Conquest updates or X-Wing updates. But it's been really difficult because I'm in the middle of George's build for the Sazabi and other stuff keeps getting in the way. And I can't do like 3 different things at once because I need to stay focused on one thing. The problem with me is I've said this a million times and I'm always really honest about it. Apart from the fact, you know, I suffer from depression, which affects a lot of my creativity and my creative flow. I have to acknowledge that. I get really bored really, really quickly of something, even if I really want to build it. I get bored of it dead fast. And once that happens, it's quite hard for me to get back into it. And I can't take that risk with something like George's Sazabi. I need a brush. I can't take that risk with George's Sazabi. Now, if I was working on a Sazabi and then thought, tell you what, just for a week to refresh myself, I'll go and do some other build. The risk is I'd then never go back to the Sazabi. And I had to take that risk to do the Ridge Runner because I had to do a test run of the painting process. And that was a big risk. So, but I survived it. So that's why I've not wanted to do other stuff while I'm doing George's Sazabi, because I don't want to take that risk that I show myself the grass on the other side of the hill and get disillusioned with the Sazabi, because I'm doing my best work for George's Sazabi. I'm not. It's a Patreon reward, so he gets my best work, and that's why I'm not cutting corners with it. I'm trying not to do anything else. I can get away with doing this on a Sunday because I can just move stuff off the desk. I've spent all week on the Sazabi, or whatever time I can get during the week. This is fine. This is only 3 hours. It's not the end of the world. But you know, if I suddenly put the Sazabi to one side and start building some orc vehicles, that's a week's worth of work. By the end of that, I don't want to go back to the Sazabi. I want to build more orc stuff or whatever, you know. So I've not been taking that risk, which is why it's not been lots of other things happening at the same time. I can't have like 3 or 4 builds on the go. So while I was doing that, which was a Patreon exclusive build, I couldn't do other stuff to put for non-patrons. So thank you to all of you who've borne with me throughout all this. It's coming to an end soon. We'll have the Falcon. And then once the Falcon's done, then it's happy time, because then I can build whatever the hell I want. And at the same time, paint 300 Conquest dudes. Yeah. So these will basically go on here like this. They'll lock onto there and glue in place. I think they'll be fine with the fat and then the thin. I don't think we'll have any problems gluing them on, but I'm not going to glue them on just yet. Because I want to have a think about how to deal with the barrels. So we'll leave them off for the moment. Right, swig of coffee. Get half the coffee out of my moustache. Speedy Q8 says, everybody, stop what you're doing. Does anyone know where I left my solder? Nope. Although if you leave stuff behind, I'm going to eat it. More Draka just updates the post with the Plague Splitter. Okay, cool. I'll have a look later. Not into Gundam myself, says David Butch, that model, but I have built 8 of the HG ones. They're a fun build, make a nice change, just shaking the box and things drops out built for you. That's what sold me on the Gunpla, was just, as somebody who hates the building process, or doesn't enjoy it, I don't hate it, I just don't enjoy it. It got rid of a lot of the stress. I didn't have to spend a week building before I could paint, I could just build for a day. Let me show you, very quickly, while we're just starting around here. The camera's in completely the wrong place. You might just see a leg. Yeah, and also the colour is really blown out. Let me just adjust that colour. That colour's not right at all. That's probably more accurate, although still not on. Yeah, let's see if we can pull that back a bit. Yeah, there we go. There's the Sazabi. Sazabi Barbie. Sazabi. Coming on. It's coming on slowly. It's a very, very slow process. I might never do a Borderlands paint scheme again or something this big, because it's soul destroying in a lot of ways. It's such a slow process, but it's also great fun at the same time. So yeah, that's coming on slowly. I've got to do what I've done today before we started the show. All I've got left to do now is basically the arms and that's it. The head has been outlined, and that's just waiting to be assembled. We've got the fuel tanks on the back. I've got to outline all the arms and the shoulders. So I think the arms and the shoulders are the 2 last bits I need to outline. Then once all this is assembled, I can crack on with the base. It's actually sat on the display base. It's going to be on. This is what it's going to be on at the end of it in a picture frame. I've just got it on there for now. It's mounted with a little clear rod. So I'll put him to one side. I'll move the camera back in a minute. Hang on, hang on. We have, yeah, I had 2 of these full of bits. Now I've only got 1 of these full of bits, and I'm so happy about that. We have bits we've got left to do. We've got the arms and the shoulders. I've done the hands. I know you probably can't see them. I've done the hands. Oops. I've got the gun is just primed at the minute. There you go. I've moved the camera again, haven't I? But never mind. And I've got the figure, which is a 1/20th scale, roughly, Kiryamata that I'm going to paint to look a bit different, like something else. You'll see when it's finished. You'll see when it's finished. So I'll put him back in there. And today, earlier on, before we started the live stream, I just went out very quickly, matte varnished the fuel tanks, which in the camera's in the wrong place again. Move down again. Right, I have to adjust the focus now and everything. Oh, you see what happens when I move things around now. I need something to focus on. Let me use it. I need a focus tool. I want a focus tool. Is that kind of roughly in focus for you? Is that roughly in focus? Roughly in focus. Yeah, so I did the fuel tanks. Gave them a coat of matte varnish earlier on, and the pots for the head. I needed to give them a quick matte varnish so that I could then take the masking that's over the clear piece off. And so they just need to be handled. The reason I gave these a matte varnish, because of the way I painted it, the ink's working perfectly over the red paint. But when it comes to the yellow paint, because there was a lot of dry brushing went on to give this kind of colour texture, the yellow paint has a sort of rough texture to it, which when I'm trying to ink over it, it kind of, there's a lot of capillary action, and the ink kind of, and it's really hard to get crisp lines on the yellow. So I've given it a coat of matte varnish in the hope that that resolves the capillary action ink problem I'm having. So we'll see. So that's that bit. So yeah, that's hopefully I'm fairly confident that the mobile suit itself should be finished by the end of this week. Done, out the way, gone. Then we just got the diorama, so we'll get that filmed up for the Patreon chaps and chapesses. Right, where's me little mark? I've lost my little mark now. Do you know? I don't know. I'm still just having thoughts about me chicken dinner. Right, that's where we were working. Where's the camera now? There we go. Roughly in the middle. Hopefully we're in focus. That's my camera spot. Colour check. Yeah, it looks all right. You see what we have to go through when we're doing... You think about when you're filming and stuff and doing live streams, you think, you know, you don't think of what goes on to get this... Let me just check my focus. Hang on. Where's my focus point? Zoom in and check my focus. I've got the wrong glasses on. You don't think about this when you see a video of something or a live stream, and you're watching it and you're quite happy watching it. You don't think about all the things that go on in the background to make sure it's in focus and correctly coloured and all this kind of stuff. But this is what you have to go through if you want to make video content. I mean, live streams not so much, but you should see what I go through when I'm actually filming a video. All kinds of shenanigans. All kinds of shenanigans. If you do look at doing it, I did do a video on my channel, which is just some very simple little guides and tips and tricks to if you want to make YouTube videos, things you should and shouldn't do. Things like your white balance and colour balance and stuff. But yeah, when you're filming something, you've got to get everything set up. You've got to get your white balance right, which is what that's for. It's a white balance tool that I made. Get your focus right. I film on an iPhone, not this is an iPhone. I film video on an iPhone, so I have to have a locked focal point. So if I lock the focus here, I have to work on the model here. I can't be moving it around because I don't use autofocus. I hate autofocus on a video. One thing that will stop me watching a video for more than 2 minutes is when the autofocus or white balance are changing all the time. It does my head in. Anyway, going off on a tangent there. Right. Anyone have that voice in their head that says, try making melting effects using a hot piece of metal, says Alex Geis. Welcome, Alex. Yes. When I was much younger, I used to make little tank kits. I used to make dints and dings in their armour by getting a spoon or something like metal with a rounded edge, heating it up and pressing it into the plastic. Glad you moved that little bit of plastic. I thought I had a mark on the screen, says Chris. No, it's quite big now. Imagine that versus an Imperial Knight, says Eon's card. That's the Sazabi. The Sazabi is massive. It's in the lore, in the fiction, it's a big mobile suit. It's bigger than RX-78 too. So the model itself is also quite tall. But yeah, it's twice the height of a Imperial Knight in model, not in reality, but you know. No, that suit against a Warlord Titan is probably bigger than a War. Well, not big. Yeah, no, it's in terms of the physical model kit, it's taller. It's about twice the size of an Imperial Knight kit. I would guess maybe just about twice the height. David Sanders says, "Got to say goodbye." Goodbye. Thanks for coming in, David. Chris says, "I may or may not have napped." Are you sleeping halfway through my live streams? Fine. See if I care. See if I'm bothered. I hate to think how you're going to ship that to an American fellow in one piece with the US Postal Service. Plastic packing crates, plastic storage crates are your absolute friend, and bubble wrap. Also, I might disassemble it a little bit. David Butch, that model, says he tells me off all the time about my YouTube channel. Oh, you mean for like what focus? I don't know. I tell everybody off. I kind of get this reputation that when somebody starts doing YouTubes and stuff or live streams, I get really naggy. I nag them about, you know, your white balance wasn't set, or your focus wasn't locked, or you need to clean your lens on your camera, or for the love of God, have more lights, and this kind of thing. And I get this impression that people think I'm like a right pain in the backside and that I nag. And I kind of do. Or, you know, your audio was clipping on this kind of thing, but I kind of do. But it's not that I hold myself up to any level of perfection. God knows my video production quality is probably terrible compared to some of the stuff you see. I'm filming on an iPhone. Come on. And on a £15 lavalier mic. It's not... Yeah, but it's not that I'm any expert. It's more that I want my friends to do the best possible work they can. And if I can see where they've done something but they can do it better... I'm just going to unplug that charging lead. Sorry, Guthorm. Oh, he's running all over the place today. You've been on the beer, haven't you? You've been on the Japanese. You've been on the Asahi Super Dry again. He's not even in shot. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, if I can see where they've done something and maybe I can see how they could do it better, then I guess I'm nagging them. But it's because I want them to do better. And I hate it sometimes because I'm like, I need to shut up, stop telling them how to do stuff because they just figure it out for themselves. But I don't want them to. I want them just to do good things by default. Because I care. Right, 32. We'll do that one. We've got half an hour or so. How long it takes to do. These are all spikes and all curves, which means it's going to take forever to clean them up. And I'm just going to give up the will to live. So we might get one of these done. We shall see. I'm also going to stab myself or break one of the spikes off. All I'm thinking about is my chicken and bacon pie. I've got to be honest. Now, question for you. How's the audio? Before I started, I thought I'll make sure I talk really quietly today because I've got the volume set in a specific way with limiters and stuff, and then I totally haven't, so I do apologise. Question for you. CD says, hello from exotic New Jersey. Hey CD, welcome. See, I've already just all these spiky, but do my head in. Yes, I have been having the thoughts about dropping the clippers. I have been having the thoughts in my mind, in my brain, in my tiny dinosaur brain, about doing a Skyrim stream series. You know, like I do my Elite Dangerous on a Saturday. I love playing Elite Dangerous, but I also love playing Skyrim. And I've been having thoughts about doing a Skyrim stream. Same kind of thing where I just play through the game, but hang out with you guys in chat. But I don't know if there's any interest in that. And the reason I'm kind of doing these like gaming streams is not because I've stopped doing model making, but like I was saying a minute ago, because of the Sazabi and because of other things, it's not always possible for me to get video content up quickly or easily, especially if I'm doing a Patreon build where I can't do anything else. At least a video game stream is a chance for me to give you guys a reason to hang out with each other in chat. The reason, you know, you may not be what you want to watch on my channel, but a lot of people that I know in this chat, in this hobby, also play video games. I love video games, and I like to, as someone recently commented, I just like to share what I enjoy, and maybe you'll enjoy it too. So I'm thinking, if it's another, you know, ever gets to another dry patch where I'm in the middle of doing something, say on Patreon, that I'm not filming anything else and you guys aren't getting content, at least then there's a chance there that you've got some content. Even if it's video game stuff, it's just a chance for you guys to hang out and chat and have a good time. It doesn't really matter what I'm doing. But it's a chance for it, and also, let's be honest, it's also cheap content. As in, I don't mean cheap as in money. I mean cheap as in low effort. You know, making a half-hour video can be, you know, can be a week's worth of work. To make a simple half-hour painting video could take me a week. Doing a live stream, I turn it on, I play a game for 3 hours, and I go back to bed or whatever. You know, go and have my dinner. It's content. It's stuff for you guys to watch and hang out in the chat, and it doesn't take me a week to do it. And it would be crazy for me to not, you know, take that opportunity to get more content on my channel, even though it's content that's not what my channel's about. But it's stuff that I enjoy doing and I enjoy sharing it. So anyway, to get back to the question, the point I was going to ask was, is there any interest in that? If I did a Skyrim stream? Because I like playing Skyrim, it's good fun. I'd start a new game. I think there would be. I think you guys would probably watch it. I think. But it's nice to ask. Because if everybody in the community just went, no, we wouldn't watch that, that's rubbish, not interested, don't want to watch that, no, then I'd be like, okay, so there's no point in me doing that at all. And it's more a case as well of these little sort of video game streams. I like playing video games, and I will spend chunks of my time when I can playing video games. And the choice I've got is I just go off and play video games for a few hours, or why don't I stream that? And then I'm going off and playing video games for a few hours and also hanging out with you guys. I don't have to. I could just keep the channel model making related. Yeah, and not bother. But if I'm going to be spending the time there playing the video game, why not make it a fun community thing? Right, that's that done. I don't think there's any other seam lines on there. I don't know. I know a few people have grumped because I've not put much content on the channel lately, and what I have done has been video game stuff or this kind of live stream. But I do what content I can. Right now, at the moment, I don't have a lot of options because we need to get George's thing done. But the Falcon's coming. But yeah, I personally think it's better to offer more than very little, because, you know, a lot of people like video games, so we're all very similar. You know, you talk to people in the boom hut and stuff. And talking of which, don't forget, of course, if my button works. Does the button work? Yes, there we go. If you're not in the boom hut already, Model Makers Boom Hut, I'll put a link in the chat for you. Facebook.com/groups/model boom hut. It's my little model making group on Facebook. It's brilliant. It's a very welcoming and safe environment. It's designed purely to encourage people to learn and show off their stuff and get support from each other without snark and bitching. We don't allow it. Right, was this 32? I've forgotten now. It's been so long since I took it off this. Yes. So that needs to go in there, like there, to see. That's quite handily, just goes in there. Magical Palooza. And there's no ambiguosity there. It literally just need to sand it down a bit. Flatten that surface. Gentlemen, flatten your surface. So I don't know anyway. I mean, it's a model making channel, but I play video games. I like sharing my interests with you guys. Because some of you might like the same things. Why is that not wanting to go in very well? I don't know. Let us get it glued in. Oops. Right. Applying this to the thing now, sir. Roger. Applying now. Spiky sticking in my thumb. Yes, it's painful. Again, we're using the fat glue. Now, Chris comes up with a good point. He thinks I should do Skyrim Sunday and move Warhammer to a Wednesday. Because it's alliteration, you see. Warhammer. I did think it was a shame that I didn't do Warhammer Wednesday, because Warhammer Wednesday would mint. But the difficulty is, I wanted to capitalise on the fact it's the weekend here in the UK and most people aren't at work. A lot of people are, but not everybody's at work. So if you do it during the week, it's got to be an evening, otherwise people are still at work in the UK. I know I get viewers from all over the damn world. All over the damn world. But, from my point of view, it doesn't matter when I do a stream, because I'm available all the time, so afternoon, evening, for me, it makes no difference. But yeah, Warhammer Wednesday and Skyrim Sunday, it would have been better. Because I was thinking about it, I'm thinking Skyrim Saturday now, because I've got Elite on Saturday, so assuming we fix it and things work. I like the engines on this drone. They're like proper drone engines. I love it. Even though it's like a demon engine and it doesn't have to have any mechanically logical parts, it's still got mechanically logical parts. It's great. Right, let's have a quick look at the chat. Eon's car, so I'm starting to feel lightheaded, so I'll be getting off in a bit. Take care, Eon's car. Hope you feel better soon, buddy. Get lying down and get taking chills. Yes, you are, and you do, but we still like you, says Dave, about nagging people. Any stream is a good stream when it has a frisky foxy in it. Thank you very much, Quano, man. Checks in the post. Skyrim is all, says Osric. I'd watch a playthrough stream of Skyrim, says Candygram. Dave says to Chris, it's okay, Chris, a nap in the afternoon is fine when you get to your age. Carolina Roberto is in, and welcome, Carolina. Do a Skyrim stream at 8 PM on Sundays, says Eric. Yeah. Chris says, Gemma wouldn't watch a playthrough, there's a giant spider at the start. Yeah, the whole thing's full. Every time I play it now, Chris, and the spiders, I'm like, yeah, I couldn't stream that. Interzone says, hi, Fox, I like Skyrim. Hi, Interzone. We enjoy the shares, friend, says CD. Have you played Stardew Valley? Personal favourite here. No. I thought it was Nintendo only. Is it? I'm Xbox, so. Skyrim is awesome. Go ahead and do a stream. Create a new character that you never used before, says Paul Di Tommaso. I would say it would be a Khajiit. It would be a Khajiit, focusing on archery and stealth, because, yeah, that's how I play. I like Warhammer on Sunday. Means that I'm free to watch it, says King Flash Rose Gaming. Yeah, I don't think I'll move from Sunday. I think I was lucky to kind of grab this slot before anybody else. I think I made a good decision there when I started doing this. How many have I done these now? I don't even know, like 2 years, a couple of hundred of these. I don't know. I'll have a look. But yeah, I think I was lucky that I chose this slot and it was free and there was no one that I'm aligned with, or no one that I know that was using the slot at the time. I think I was lucky. I don't think I want to move it now. It's your channel, Fox. You do what you enjoy. You never know. You might inspire someone to kit bash an elite spaceship out of, I don't know, what models you get from Skyrim there, apart from beasties. You never know. They could make up a horse. Horse. Note, afternoon or evening, Fox doesn't do mornings. I do mornings, just not publicly. Mordraka says, I found with the Dark Imperium kit for the drone, it might be better to swap the two side rotors to the other side from where the destructions say they go. yeah, about that. Yeah, sorry about that. Already done. Oops. Also, overhyping myself for the new PlanetSide 2 update, says King Flash Rose Gaming. Never played that. Your PC issues are fixed. You can do a video game Saturday. Well, assuming I fix my PC issues, I'll carry on with Elite on a Saturday. Saturday evenings, yeah, you've got Carl and his little team do their show. I don't really want to go over when Carl's doing his stream because that wouldn't be very fair. I've got the mornings I could do. What's this one now? 33. Seeing as I've glued that on that side, I can't really got a choice now. I am at the end of the day, I mean, ultimately, it's one of those things where I could do whatever stream I want at whatever time I want, and doesn't, you know, it's entirely up to me, but I'm fairly conscientious. I don't want to, you know, step on other people's toes. And I'm not saying any stream ever that I don't want to clash with. You know, there's plenty of streams that I don't care if I'm on at the same time because we don't cover the same things, or we don't have the same audience, or I don't know anything about them. But so I don't really pay attention to other people's streams too much when I make a decision. But streams for my friends and people that I interact with, like, you know, obviously like Chris and Carl and that lot, obviously we don't step on each other's toes. That's just kind of, we're all mates. For things like Carl's stream, I don't, like, you know Carl, like, personally. We're not mates or anything. I mean, not mates, but, you know, we don't hang out on Facebook and stuff. But, you know, I know Carl. I don't want to stand on and step on his toes with their crash, Saturday crash. They've got that fairly established, so we'll leave that as it is. Thank you very much. Don't want to step on their toes. We'll see. But yeah, unless there are people, then that doesn't mean I take everybody into account. There's people I don't care. So we'll see. I'll decide. I might do it during a weekday or something. It would be nice, for example, to do a stream on a weekday rather than in the evening, just for the people who can't make it along to the evening streams because they live in a part of the world that's not the UK. I know Lynn got excited when she thought I might do a stream on a Tuesday or Wednesday. So we'll see. I probably will do one, but not anytime soon. I've got way too much stuff to be getting on with. I've got to get this done and get the Millennium Falcon done. I need to be in a place where I'm actually doing the builds that I need to do, because my priority right now is to, you know, earn a living. So right now the priority for me is to get the Sazabi done, Sazabi done, get the Falcon done, and then as quickly as possible move on to stuff that I can build and paint and sell. Actually earn some, you know, get some money coming in. So that's my priority right at the moment. And it's kind of why Sazabi's taken forever, but it's why it's been frustrating that there's been so much real life stuff getting in the way of me getting to that point, because I really need to get building and selling some stuff, because I need the money basically. So yeah, so, you know, I'm doing the build for George, which is fine. I'm not begrudging that, and I'm not cutting corners. Then I've got the Millennium Falcon, which I can't sell because it's an E-Models build, so that's not going to help me at all. But then I'm sponsored by them, so again, I don't begrudge that. But then I need to just get building stuff I can sell, quite simply, because I need that extra income. And it's not a bad living, you know. If I can, not perfect, but if I can, you know, rattle out a Warhammer build in a week and film it and everything else, and then sell it, I can probably make a nice little bit of extra income doing that. Not enough to live off, but when it's combined with, you know, my Patreon supporters and the little bit I get from YouTube and everywhere else, it'll probably be alright then. Because times are tough at the moment, you know. There we go, that's a little mould line there. So yeah, I need to get back into the position of building and selling. But apart from that as well, I need to get back into building stuff where I'm thinking, I want to build that thing and paint it. At the moment, because I've not been able to, it's frustrating when I see so many kits and I'm like, I want to build and paint that, but it's going to be on the back burner for another 8 months. I've got a lot of orc vehicles that I want to make, and I'm really egging to build them. I'm like, I want a bit. I've got me shock, jump, booster, dragster, blaster thing, and me whatever it is, other thing, flash gits, boomer, banger thing. I've got them to build. Can't wait to do them. Never painted an orc before, but I love the vehicles. I've got me Bane Blade to do. So yeah, I need to get that shizzle on going. And I've been sitting there like, oh, want to do them. So I can't wait to get started on them. Right, that's that one. Fox doing a morning behaviour, did not wake up at Telford until we had fetched and fed him McDonald's breakfast, said David Butcham. Well, that's true. I was in the car, but I wasn't actually conscious. I mean, I was conscious, but I wasn't conscious, if you know what I mean. When is Fox awake? Never. Dave says 2:30 PM to about 2:30 AM. Yeah. I don't actually keep normal hours though. It's my body clock. The one thing about, like, because technically I work from home. This is what I do for a living. So, somebody said to me, says, "Oh, you're great. You can have a lie in all morning and do all lazy stuff." And I'm like, well, no, because I still only want. I don't like sleeping more than I need to. I'm quite happy if I've got my 8 hours sleep. I'm quite happy at that point. And I've got to the age where, when I was a teenager, you might go to bed at 1 in the morning or whatever, and you'd be in bed till like 3 the next day, 3 in the afternoon, because you're a teenager and all you want to do is sleep. But no, if I get too much sleep now, I am just in a bad way. I am broken. I cannot. If I get more than if I get like 8.5 hours sleep, I'm absolutely battered. I feel just like rough as a badger's butt. It's just like, oh, I can't do it. I can't sleep more than 8 hours because it really just kills me. I get the headaches. I get the. I'm like a reverse teenager. I'm like a teenager. If I get too much sleep, I'm knackered. So it's kind of weird because I've kind of always been that way. Once I stopped being a grumpy teenager, I was a grumpy adult. So it might be now that, for example, I might actually be waking up at, say, 10 or half 10, but I'm not going to bed till like 2, half 2 on a typical day, because just the way my body clock works and the way my schedule for doing stuff works. So it might well be that I might not start work till in the afternoon, work at the bench or whatever, editing videos or filming or what have you, but at the same time I'm still putting in a good 8 hours a day or more work. I know people certain individuals, which remain nameless, I'm like, some of us have been up since 7 this morning, and I'd be like, yeah, and I've worked exactly the same 9 or 10 hour day that you have, and I've had exactly the same amount of sleep because I was up till 3 or 4 in the morning. Annoyed me that. Nameless, obviously. But yeah, so it's true. I don't get up till, I don't get out of bed and wake up till maybe 10, half 10. But I'm not going to bed till 2 or 3 in the morning. So I'm still doing the same hours of sleeping and waking. It's just I'm not on the same kind of schedule as everybody else. Yeah, which is weird. Right, there we go. Those are those two on. We're on 17. I can probably get one more. I think I can get the last one done. What do you think, folks? What about when you get hammered? Says Paul Di Tommaso. I'll be honest with you. This is the weird thing, right? When I was much younger, of course, me and my friends, it was all about going to the pub. We used to spend 4 or 5 days a week in the pub, doing the beers in our local pub that we loved. It was our home from home. It was our sacred safe space. It was our like home from home, and that was our life, you know. This was when we were in our 20s. Now we're all older. All my friends have either, all my real life friends that I've known for decades, have all either moved away or got families and things like that. So everybody's responsibilities have changed. They've all got grown up and got families and got responsibilities and stuff. So of all my circle of friends, I'm the only one that can still technically live the bachelor lifestyle. It's kind of awesome, really. I'm more than happy with that. Thank you very much. No responsibilities really. It's I'm not going to complain. But I don't know. As I've got older, I've kind of gone away from that. Let's all go out to the pub kind of like. I mean, they've all moved away from it anyway because they've got kids and old. But I think we've just grown out of it anyway. So when we do occasionally go out, it's usually for someone's birthday or for something like that. We'll go out on the beers. We'll go out. We'll tend to, because we're all old now. It's more we'll go out for a meal, and there may or may not be beers in that process somewhere. It's that kind of thing. So, oops. I think if we were all, any of us were to try and do like an all-day session, because it used to be, if anybody knows, the Bricklayers Arms in Altrincham was our home from home. That pub on a Sunday. This is going back to the mid-90s. This is going back a long way. That pub was our home from home. We would go in there at lunchtime on a Saturday or on a Sunday. Lunchtime on a Sunday, and we'd be there at closing time on the Sunday. We'd just spend all day in there. Getting the beers. We'd go out. If we got hungry, we'd nip out to McDonald's. Whatever, we might go for a curry, but then we'd go back to the Brickies, the Bricklayers Arms. And that was our Sunday. It was the best thing ever. And Saturday was exactly the same. For most days, we'd do exactly the same on Saturday as well. But that was a case of you go out on the beers, you still wake up at like 9 or 10 o'clock because it was weekend, but you'd be fine. If I did that now, if I went to the pub now at lunchtime on a Sunday and was there till closing time on a Sunday, I'd just die. I'd just be broken. I'd be in hospital. I couldn't do it. Because, not that I couldn't get drunk, I could quite happily get drunk and fall over, but probably most of my, primary systems would just shut down. Because they just wouldn't know what to do. They couldn't cope. I'd probably sleep for about a week. Because I'm not young anymore. I can't do that anymore. When you're young, you can sleep off anything. Go to the pub for 24 hours, come home, get 8 hours sleep, wake up and you're fine. Maybe a little bit rough around the edges, but you're fine. Get a cup of coffee and you're in a walk around the block and you're back to business. Nowadays, if I go out and have 2 beers, I'm just in agony for about a week. So, yeah, you can't do that when you get old now. Not something you can do. And it really is like, nobody wants to think that when they start getting old, they'll get to the point where they'll actually look forward to a nice sit down and a cup of tea. Nice sit down, a bit of telly and a cup of tea. There you go. That's what, you know what? When you get old, you really start to think, I could just go for a nice sit down and a cup of tea. Rather than, let's all go to the pub and get hammered. It just happened. You may not want it to happen, but trust me, on this roller coaster ride of life, you ain't got no choice at all. You ain't got no choice whatsoever. It's just, yeah. You're old, here are the consequences. There you go. It's not a multiple choice. You don't get to opt out. Now, I'm not exactly going to sit here, getting so old that, to be perfectly honest, I was in the car the other day. And my car stereo at the minute is a bit ropey, and that if it's damp or anything outside, or if it's been cold and there's like condensation, it won't play the CD because it's probably got some like water droplets in the CD player on the laser lens or something. So all I can do is put the radio on and have silence. And I refuse to listen to anything other than Radio 4. Not because I like Radio 4, but because everything else is rubbish pop music. Radio 1. My local doctor's surgery. They're a great doctor's surgery, but I hate going there because they insist on the waiting room. They just have Radio 1 piped in. And it's like, oh, for the love of God, I do not want to be listening to mouth-breathing drivel at 10 a.m. on a Monday morning. Ugh. So I'll turn the radio on and it'll be like, it's only really Radio 4 that I can just about tolerate, because it's like the news or something. But even I sat the other day in the car and I turned it on and it's like, and in a moment we have the news on Radio 4. So I thought, oh, I'll listen to the news. The news was like a quick 2-minute bulletin. I'm like, next on Radio 4, it's Gardener's Question Time. I'm like, turn that off. So I'm not so old that I'll voluntarily listen to Gardener's Question Time. I'm not quite that bad. Or, you know, if the Archers comes on, that thing goes off instantly. Yeah. So, yeah, it's... Some things you accept with age. Do we know what Fox is like when he's hammered? What's the difference when he's normal? Says Eric. When I'm hammered, I am exactly the same as I am now. Except I'm usually louder. I know, go figure. I say louder. And basically, I just get loud and a little bit more immature and childish. But up to the point where I've had too much. Because the moment I've had too much, what happens is, if there are no limits on the alcohol consumption, it happens every time. And I even did a comic strip about this in my comic strip days, but it's quite simple. I'll sit there and I'll be the life and soul of the party and loud and shouty, probably quite loud and quite shouty. And I'll just talk bollocks and I'll talk nonsense and I'll probably argue some really bad points and I'll make no sense at all. And then I'll get the whiteys. Without fail. I'll suddenly go very, very quiet. Almost instantaneously. You'll see, you'll be like, la 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 la. Sudden wall comes down because I'll get the whiteys. And it's basically, one of my friends once called it Attack of the Helicopters. The whirly pits. I'll be sat there, and all of a sudden, I'll get the little bit of woozies, and I'll be like, oh, I don't feel so good. And then I'll be like staring into space for a few minutes, and I'll be thinking to myself, I've hit the limit now, because if I drink any more, I'm going to be blowing chunks everywhere. I'm going to be hurling, and I hate being sick. So at that point, my instincts kick in, and my brain goes, time to leave. Let's get the hell out of this place. And what I'll do is, and my friends used to take the mickey out of me, I will quite literally just get up and walk out. And that's it. I've gone. That's it for the rest. I'm just gone home. I won't even say I'm off. I've had too much. I'm going. Or I might just go, I've had enough. I'm off. And I'll just go. I'm just gone. You'll be like, wait, what? Where did Fox go? And I won't be like, thanks everyone. I've had a great night. I won't. I'll just gone. So yeah, I'm louder, more silly, more childish, and then I just vanish. I just disappear. I'm gone. Yeah. Double D Custom Builds, Daryl D. Hey Daryl, Double D. Aloha Fox, how's it? Welcome, buddy. I'm fine, thank you very much. You've just come in at like the last literally 10 minutes, but welcome. Don't see you often in my stream, so we're more than welcome. It's basically entirely normal till you go silent, says Paul. Yeah, pretty much. Get on to BBC Radio 6 music, says Tim Wilkinson. The problem is I hate most music, unless it's music I like. Which sounds counterintuitive, but it makes sense. The music I like is the music I grew up with, and some of the bits I've discovered along the way. So, you know, if I turn the radio on and they were just happen to be playing non-stop orchestral motion picture soundtracks that just happen to be things like The Wrath of Khan and Stargate, I'll be more than happy. Or, you know, Mike Oldfield's Amarok, I'll be like, bonus. But anything else is drivel to me. Or if it's like the radio station that only plays ELO from like Out of the Blue in Time, I'll be more than happy. Yeah. Wayne Haywood says, Fox, I've started doing that. I realise I've had enough alcohol and just leave. Yeah, I just get up. I don't even say goodbye. I'm like, gotta go. And I say I'm out the door. Gone. Pew. One of my friends, and it did turn into a comic strip of one of mine, but one of my friends once said, we knew you were about to leave once because you went to the bar and you came back and you said you were walking like a helicopter without a pilot. And you just kind of put the drinks down, stood there for about 10 seconds, kind of going, and then just walked out and went. And I'm like, yep, that sounds about right. Dave says, Fox, in Orkney we have found a yurt to stay in on Airbnb. You're going to love it, but trying to find a yurt when we are drunk should be fun. Yes, Dave and Dad, and potentially me if I can afford it at the time, are going to go up to Orkney. It's Probably unlikely I'll be able to make it, but because I can't really commit to things really. But I do want to go up to visit Scott in Orkney at some point. A, because Scott's awesome. B, because of puffins. And C, archaeology. Puffins or archaeology, Orkney fudge, of course. Let's not forget Orkney fudge and Scott. Not in any particular order. I'm not saying Scott's the least important there, but there is Orkney fudge, which kind of trumps everything. Just be honest. So yes, I do need to go and visit Orkney at some point. Right. This is now, I think, kind of finished. I finished it. I finished the thing. Holy cow. Now, I've not glued the weapons on. I could do that now, but I think what I'll do is I'll do that off camera because I might need to have some thinking time. I don't think I'm going to struggle too much to glue them on. Bit of Tamiya fat glue, hold them in place for a second, and then some extra thin to extra weld them. I think I'll be alright, to be honest. I think we'll be fine. But we'll leave them off for them. I'll get them done later on tonight. I'll stick them on late when I'm watching Chris's stream. So all that's left to do from issue 46 now, we've built the 4 Plague Marines. We built the Fetid Bloat Drone. Fetid Bloat Drone. Osric says, I've stayed in a yurt in Mongolia, very comfy. Yes. All we've got left to do now is the Lord Contagion. Now, if you watch Duncan painting, if you go and watch the tutorials on Warhammer TV where Duncan paints, when they did the Dark Imperium set, they showed you how to paint a Space Marine captain in Gravis armour and how to paint the Lord Contagion. And those are the only 2 they showed you how to paint. And a Poxwalker. Ignore the battle-ready other rubbish. That's just modern crap that you don't want to watch. This is the one he showed you how to paint. The Lord Contagion. So I was just watching that last night, actually. So we'll get this guy built up next week. And then after him, yeah. See, if you've seen what's coming up, look at this. Look at this. Here we go. See, I'm very organised. All my issues go into a folder, apart from the instructions. So we built this. This is next week. But then, week after that, Land Speeder. Yes. The only thing that kind of spoils it a bit is that when we build the Land Speeder, I've had a collapse now. Yeah. I will apologise now because it's entirely possible that when I build the Space Marine bikes, I might leave these till the very end and just do them off camera because I'm not going to be a happy bunny building them. I hate them. We might skip that step. Skip that. We'll do it later. Yeah, the only thing that spoils this and this is that they're not Primaris Marines. They're old school Marines, which is they're all sat down. Doesn't really matter. But it does seem a shame that there's no Primaris vehicle types with Primaris Marines in, which is a shame. But there you go. Right. Yeah, I'll be leaving them to the end. Wow. So yeah, so that's going to do us, I think, for today. I'm quite pleased that we've managed to get this puppy built. I'm quite pleased that I managed to not snap off anything, apart from the bit I snapped off, which we glued back on. It's now invisibly fixed. You can't see the join. Can't see the join. That's going to be fun to paint. I'm going to enjoy painting the Death Guard. I'm going to have so much more fun. It's like I said to George, I will do the best possible for his, because he's on the Space Marines. I will do George the best possible paint job I can give him, but I'm going to have more fun painting the Death Guard, I think, because just filth. He's finished something, says Eric Graham, and Dave says, I know, Eric, it's a damn good job. Everyone is sitting down. Right, so yeah, I think that's gonna do for today. We've only got 5 minutes anyway. Thank you very much for watching. Like I say, for next Saturday, when I do a test to make sure we can still do the Elite Dangerous streams, it'll either be a public test, in which case come along and watch, but it might fall over after half an hour, in which case I'll just burn the entire computer to the ground and we'll never do a Saturday stream again. Or it might just be done, I'll do it quietly off out of the public gaze just to make sure it works, rather than have you guys get half a stream again. See how good this extra thin is with the fat glue. It's stuck on now. I can do that. It's not even coming off. So anyway, we'll see that. But I will have a think. I'll start having to think about a Skyrim stream when we can do that. Don't forget, of course, later on tonight, although I'm finished now, Chris has got his stream at 8 PM tonight, the Warhamster, where he's finishing off, I assume he's finishing off or carrying on with his bomber blaster bombers, his Orc bombers for his Aeronautica Imperialis set that he's building up. They're looking rather good. But that's later on tonight. That's 8 PM tonight after you've had your tea. Then, of course, Monday night is me, Chris, Colin, and Ted doing the E-Models live stream. So we'll be back on Monday as always for that. And then I will be back, obviously, maybe next Saturday, but definitely next Sunday, because Sundays still seem to work. That's not actually centered. I've just realised. Oh, my OCD's kicked in now. It's not. I'm going to have to put something here to justify why that is not quite in the centre, because it's just a little bit off centre. I'll put a bit of debris or a rock or a boulder there or something. That'll cure my OCD. That'll keep my OCD quiet. Because it's not in the golden section, so I'm like, oh. Yes, so during the week though, we'll see how it goes. I'll be posting up more little update photographs of the Sazabi, because that will hopefully be done. And if I'm lucky, I'll start filming on the figure and the diorama. So stay tuned for that. What else? Can't think of anything else. That's it, I think. So basically, I'll see you tomorrow anyway. I'll see you tomorrow for the model stream. Hopefully you'll come along and watch. Don't forget, as always, though, thank you very much for watching. If you do want to help support this channel, because this is what I do for a living, first and foremost, you can go on Patreon, patreon.com/modelmakingguru. You can support me directly. My Patreons pay my income. They pay my bills. They keep food on my table, so thank you massively to them. If you don't want to do that though, you can, of course, if you want to do a super chat on the chat windows of any of my streams, that I make a little income off that. That's brilliant. The more you put through, the more I make. Very much. You can, of course, support me indirectly. First of all, just like and subscribe on my videos. Make sure you subscribe and make sure to hit like on every channel, on every video. Sorry. That means that my videos then do appear slightly higher in the listings, search listings, and it helps me get more views, which obviously helps my income. But of course, you can use my affiliate links. I've got my Goblin Gaming link in the description below this video. It's down there. Use that link. It tells them that I sent you, and then I make a little bit of income from them. It doesn't cost you anything extra. It just tells them that I sent you, and I get some credit for that, basically. And of course, I've got my Amazon store down there, which is my affiliate store. If you use that, if you need to buy something on Amazon, go there first. See if it's in there. If there's something you want and it's not there, let me know. I can add it. It takes me 2 seconds. It won't take me long at all. And that, again, helps me out massively if you use that. But until next time, I shall say, let me just check my buttons are working. Hang on. Yeah, buttons are still go. Does Ted work yet? I don't know why Ted doesn't work. I have to have words with him. Anyway, yeah, that's going to do me. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget the tip Jar Jar. I don't make money off the tip, Dave. That's purely for the Streamlabs. That's purely for the stream boss. You guys make money off that. That's for you. That's your pot of money, not my pot of money. But yes, thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome, like you there. Go be awesome. You are awesome. You looking at the end of my finger, you're awesome. There. Go be awesome. And until next time, I shall say, take care of yourselves and adios, amoebas. Where's my buttons? Where's my camera? Where's oh. That wasn't the right button. That didn't work. Hang on. Let me try that again. Okay, something's not quite right here because my titles aren't loading either, as well as my TED button. That's weird. Let me try. I'll try it manually. Ciao. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, I'm going to go away and play some buttons, but there would be some titles here, but there aren't. So, soz, I guess. I'll just fade to a black. What I'll do, have you got a button that does this?